The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And my heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing, and keep your words naked. You got me blushing, and you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow.
This is 5 Live Sport. So welcome back to 5 Live Sport. I'm Darren Fletcher alongside David Moyes and Simon Stone with Theon Dublin and Conor McNamara at Old Trafford. The first weekend of the Premier League season. Plenty of live commentary to come. Newcastle Tottenham is the 12:30 kick-off tomorrow, and that's followed by Fulham against Crystal Palace at 3. Fulham, the first newly promoted team to spend £100 million in their first transfer window following promotion. What an interesting story they're going to be to follow. And on Sunday, the reigning champions Manchester City are at the Emirates for the first game against Arsenal since the 28th of September 1986 without Arsene Wenger as the manager. That's a 4 o'clock kick-off. Before all that, though, it's Old Trafford tonight. Manchester United against Leicester. We spent the first half hour tonight talking about the struggles that Jose has had in terms of strengthening the squad. Conor McNamara can tell us how they're actually lining up tonight.
Darren, there's much to get our teeth into here. Well, Andres Pereira starts in midfield for Manchester United, for whom Paul Pogba, World Cup winner, is named as captain. There's a Premier League debut for Fred, the Brazilian, the main summer signing, over £50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. But Lukaku is only on the bench for Manchester United, and so too Martial and Fellaini and Young and Smalling. For Leicester, Vardy is only fit enough to be on the bench. Johnny Evans is named on the bench, former Manchester United player. But Harry Maguire starts. So the teams: David De Gea in goal for Manchester United, back four of Darmian at right back, Bailly and Lindelof in the middle, Shaw on the left-hand side. In midfield, there's a three of Fred, Pereira and Pogba, and then up front a three of Mata wide on the right and Sanchez and Marcus Rashford. For Leicester, Kasper Schmeichel's the goalkeeper. Back four: Daniel Amartey, Wes Morgan, Harry Maguire and Ben Chilwell. In the middle of the midfield, Wilfred Ndidi and Adrian Silva. Then Ricardo Pereira, the Portuguese player, the new signing, he'll start wide on the right wing. Damari Gray, who scored against Manchester United a couple of seasons ago here at Old Trafford, he's wide on the left. James Maddison, who got 15 goals for Norwich last season, he'll play in the number 10 role, his Premier League debut for Leicester. And Kelechi Iheanacho, the former Manchester City player, he's had a good pre-season. He starts up front for Leicester.
Thank you, Conor. Let's bring in David Moyes and Dion Dublin on that. I mean, first of all, the interesting thing for me is how the managers work out. Bearing in mind they come back at different times, who's ready to play. You look at that straight away and say, well, Mourinho asked Lukaku to come back early from his holiday. He did so and he's on the bench. Paul Pogba didn't come back early from his holiday. He's only been there a few days and he starts. How do you work it out?
Well, I don't think you can work it out, can you? Because there's no sort of rhyme or reason to some of the choices. But the managers get to see them in training. You have to trust the managers that they're making the right decisions and doing what's right for the players.
Dion, what about that Manchester United team?
It's not bad, is it, to be honest with you? I just think, we spoke about it earlier, Bailly and Lindelof, centre-halves. That's not bad, you know. It's not bad. I would imagine there's a lot of teams out there in world football that would say, I wouldn't mind having Bailly and Lindelof as our centre-half. So, you know, I don't think Man United are weak. Mata, Rashford and Sanchez up front. That is not a bad forward line. And then in midfield, obviously Pogba. You know what, with Pogba, I'd like to see the reins taken off him. I'd just like the manager to say, listen, you just go and play, and then the rest will have to do their jobs to help you play well. Because I think when you restrict him, I just don't think you see the same player. I think we've seen at the World Cup that Pogba, when he's on it, he's just outstanding. And you know what, Fletch? He can come back when he wants. He's a World Cup winner.
We're going to talk in depth about Leicester City, by the way, after 7:30. We're going to be joined by the man who was managing them this time last season, Craig Shakespeare. We'll take a look at their team in a minute as well. Before that, though, there's been another wicket at Lords, Ellie.
Yeah, 96 for 8. India could be all out tonight. Jimmy Anderson has taken it. Kuldeep Yadav, absolutely plumb LBW for a duck. 96 for 8 as the shadows lengthen across the outfield in front of the man stand. And you can listen to the last 4 overs here on 5 Live Sports Extra with Test Match Special.
Thanks, Ellie. Dion, you just said there about, Pogba having the reins taken off. Kind of throwing this one out to you and David. What kind of impact do you think Fred's going to have on him, and what kind of impact is Jose Mourinho hoping that Fred can have on him?
I don't know. We know that Fred, he can make things happen. He affects a football match, and that's what you buy players for, to affect football matches. I don't think he's like Paul Pogba at all. I don't think there's any player in the world like Paul Pogba. He's got this low pin stride, looks like he's going nowhere, very, very powerful, can create chances, can make chances, only if you allow him to have that role though, Fletch. I think when you say, right, you go in there and do that, and when we haven't got the ball, you do that, and I just don't think it works with certain players. I think some players you've got to say, right, you and 10 others.
So the blend was an issue at times, wasn't it, David, for them last season in midfield with regard to getting the best out of Pogba? Does the blend look any better this season?
I think United have been looking for somebody to take up the role as a sort of sit and hold in midfield player, to give Pogba what you said is the licence to join in, get in the box, get near definitely. The box, and I think that's where he's at his best, as everybody's aware. And I think even his best days for me, when you saw him playing for Juventus, he played on the left-hand side of 3 midfield players and was allowed to gallop on and play in that role, whether they were playing 5 at the back or 4 at the back, and I think that suited him. But I think that United have been looking for somebody to really take over from Michael Carrick, to start the game, to have the ball, but also to sort of dictate it and allow the others to get forward.
And you know what, Fletch, I'm not speaking for David, but what I mean by the Pogba sort of free role is that you don't expect him to do nothing when they haven't got the ball. He's still got to pull his weight. He's still got to do a job for the team. But I think when they have the ball, you've just got to allow him just to go into pockets and do what he feels right for what the position the ball's in, because I think he can do things that other players can't. So I'm not saying what we would call cheat. I'm saying, listen, work hard when you haven't got the ball, but when you have got it, make something happen for us.
I think David's use of the word dictate is significant there, because in Ukraine at Shakhtar, Fred was known as the conductor. He likes to dictate the play. He sort of waves the wand, tells people where to go. And I think, go back to Dion's point, that then could free up Pogba, that he doesn't need to be the conductor. He can go and play a lead instrument somewhere. He can go and do his own little thing. And I think it'll be very interesting tonight. It's the first time we're going to see them play together, Fred and Pogba. If it works, this could be the key for Manchester United's season.
Yeah, just one on Leicester as well, David, because as I say, we are going to speak a lot about them after 7:30. Craig Shakespeare is going to join us live on the programme as well. No Jamie Vardy tonight, but there is Harry Maguire in there, so one of England's World Cup players, but not the other. And what a night he's going to...
the one who played?
Yeah, what a night he's going to be for him, bearing in mind he's been in the middle of all of this transfer speculation, linking him with Manchester United, and there he is. He's going to walk out with Leicester in about 50 minutes' time.
But that tells you a wee bit about the boy, that he's not sulking, he's getting on with it. And there's so many behind the scenes. People would be amazed at the stories you could tell about players who are not really, going to be ready for the games, not going to put themselves out because they've not had a move. So you'd have to admire Harry Maguire. He's rolled his sleeves up and said, I've got to get on with it. And if it's true, and I don't know if it is true, that United were in for him, well, it shows you how far he's come in recent seasons.
Full commentary to come with Connor and Dion from 8 o'clock, the first Premier League match of the season, live on 5 Live. And don't forget, no other UK broadcaster has as many full commentaries from the Premier League as we do during the course of the season. We're going to turn our attention to the Premier League in general shortly. But, Ellie, the wickets are tumbling all over the place at Lord's.
Yeah, are India going to be all out for under 100? 96 for 9 at the moment. Ravi Ashwin, LBW to Stuart Broad for 29. It's his first wicket of the innings. James Anderson has taken 4 for 20 in 2 spells of brilliant swing bowling. We've seen Chris Wokes swing it as well under very, very difficult conditions for batting. Certainly not the kind of conditions that the Indian batsmen have liked at all today. So last man is at the wicket, Stuart Broad bowling from the pavilion end, and we could see England coming in and facing an over tonight. So we'll have to wait and see. 96 for 9 India at the moment.
Back in 5 minutes, Ellie, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Ellie Oldroyd at Lord's, watching England claiming wicket after wicket in the evening session there at Lord's in the Test match. Now, so Jamie Vardy rested by Leicester. There are no Nemanja Matic. There's Lukaku on the bench, and all to do with the exertions at the World Cup. Now, we've done the same here at 5 Live because we felt that JJ still needs another week or so to get fully back to match fitness. He's going to be back for the Friday Football Social next week. But we're quite privileged, actually, fellas, because we can actually grab a quick word with it now from some sunbed somewhere, no doubt. Are you there?
I'm definitely not on a sunbed, Fletch. I'm back in the building, ready to work. But just, I appreciate the extra week. I saw you had a really nice long holiday, actually, you and the family. So I took an extra week.
I knew that you wanted to be back to me best as early as I possibly could, so I tried to take my time. How was your summer? I mean, I watched you from afar. You put in the hours and the miles in Russia. Are you ready to go again?
Yeah. You know what, I am. I have to say, the World Cup was absolutely amazing. I actually remember being on 5 Live at one point and being slightly apprehensive about going to the World Cup when I was asked the question. But honestly, Fletch, it was an unbelievable experience all round. The games were phenomenal, the organisation, the stadiums, the way it was ran. I mean, I spoke to a lot of people that have been to a lot of World Cups who said, it's possibly one of the best they've ever been to. It was that good, and obviously, to top it off, England had a good tournament as well. So, if anything, it's given me more energy to go again this year.
Well, we're looking forward to getting you back in the studio with us next week, so I'm looking forward to that. But I noticed on the BBC Sport website, all of the BBC football pundits have been asked for their predictions going into the new season, and you, pretty much like everyone else, and I'd go with this as well, you've gone for Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to kind of get away from just how easy it was for them last year. I think if anyone's going to give them a run for the money, it looks like Liverpool. But obviously Jurgen Klopp might be battling with getting people to gel quick enough together with regards to how good his squad is now looking. But City have strengthened. They've got a way of playing. They're now winners as well, which is going to give them even more confidence going forward. So I think they're going to be tough to stop.
Yeah, so JJ David has gone for Manchester City. Simon Stone is in here as well. What about you two fellas? Would you go away from that? Would you look at Liverpool with the kind of strengthening that they've been able to do over the course of the summer, or is City still the team that everybody's got to beat?
Well, City will be the team they have to beat. But I think Liverpool, you know, when it came to the individual games against Manchester City, done very well. Probably one of the only teams who... United, I know, to beat them as well, but I do think that Liverpool, when they played them, you actually thought, no, Liverpool could beat them, maybe find a way. But you know, the one thing, every manager in the league will be looking for a way to beat Manchester City, or finding a formula that might work. And if one team gets a bit lucky and it works, they'll all be following it to try and make sure that they can topple them.
What about you, Simon?
The other thing I would say about Manchester City, they are a fantastic team. They've got a brilliant squad and they should win it. They do concede a lot of goals. They concede virtually in every game. If they stop scoring, there's no reason why they would stop scoring.
Yeah,
but if
there's
they
the million-dollar question.
well, exactly. I mean, they have such amazing firepower. But if for any reason they went a few games and didn't score, or only won a game instead of 15, then it might not be quite as easy for them as everybody's suspecting.
I've got to say, Jay, having watched them in the Community Shield last weekend against Chelsea, half of that team had pretty much walked up off the beach, shoved the towel back in the wardrobe, and then given a lesson to Chelsea over 90 minutes. I mean, they looked ominously strong, bearing in mind hardly any of them have been back for any kind of pre-season training, really.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of them have been performing in the summer as well, and it is a little bit easier physically to just, you know, get straight back into that rhythm. Mentally, it can be difficult to get your head around the fact that you're already back. But I think the bigger bonus is the fact that, you know, Guardiola's had a couple of years with a lot of these players now, and they kind of just get into autopilot mode. They know exactly what's required. They know what he needs. They remember last pre-season when he was not happy with the way things started, and they weren't prepared to do that again. It was some impressive stuff, I have to say, even from obviously, you know, youngsters and players that you wouldn't expect to start for City.
JJ, do you think City can get better than last year?
Well, he's a perfectionist, Pep. You know, I think if you go over a lot of the performances last year, you know, I think, you know, Simon just mentioned in the goals that they conceded. You know, I think a lot of those goals are conceded on the basis that he plays a certain style. He plays quite open at times. He likes to attack from really wide areas, which means you can catch them out with counter-attacks, which is exactly what Liverpool did to them. And I think it infuriates him, the simple mistakes that seems to be made in those centrally giving the ball away, simple passes, which have led to goals at times last year. And it'll be that he's trying to improve. And if he does, then, you know, inevitably they are going to improve. And to add to that, they've brought in Riyad Mahrez, who
he's not bad, is he?
He's going to make any team better. Yeah. So they're definitely improving as far as I'm concerned.
Sorry, Fletch. I did hear from somebody in the Man City camp told me that I
like these kind of ones. That somebody in the camp told me.
Yes,
I like this.
You like this one? You can have it. You can have it. Here we go.
Go on then.
Told me that he had the young players back, the 17s and 18s. There was none of the seniors back yet because they got a bit of extra time, obviously, through the World Cup. But he had the 17s and 18s, Pep Guardiola, back, and he was coaching them like they were the first team. The intensity was like he was coaching the first team, and it was all about knowing what the first team do and what you do if you get in the first team. That's why I think you can see players like Foden just falling into playing with the first team so easily, because he's treating everybody the same. He wants the same standards from everybody, and I think JJ's right. I think, you know, if they click again, they could go into sixth gear again.
Did you go for them in your predictions as well?
I did, yeah. I think, you know, it's really difficult to look past them because of the way they played the game, the way they run the league, their attitude, the way that the manager sets them up. And you know what he does as well, Fletch? If you ever watch Man City play, when they look like they're in trouble, i.e. there's a defender who has the ball and is being squeezed, they would have worked on that. He knows how to get out of those situations if you're in trouble, i.e. the extra player in the goalkeeper. So he just seems to cover all his bases, and he's very meticulous.
There's one to watch, actually. Dion talking about the under-18s being coached by Guardiola in the manner that he would look after the first team. He came on for about 3 seconds in the Community Shield last week. Yes. But they've got a young French lad called Claudio Gomez, who came from Paris Saint-Germain, who Pep has said so many positive things about during the course of the summer pre-season, that he might just be one that sticks around that first team this season. And of course, we do know that Guardiola's always been a manager that if you're good enough, you're old enough. He's not particularly concerned about whether you're old enough to play, is he? So.
Didn't do much, did he? In 3 seconds.
He actually celebrated like everybody else did when the full-time whistle went. Let's get JJ back in, because we've not got him for very long, although listening to him tonight, he's in the kind of form where he should have been here tonight. But I just want a quick chat with you about your former club Tottenham, Jay. So they've become the first team to not make a single summer signing since the introduction of the transfer window in 2003. But Mauricio Pochettino is relaxed.
We have a very good squad. We have a very good player, and it's not easy to add player that improve that. It's true that our target always are in the same level of Real Madrid or Manchester United or Manchester City, but for different circumstances we cannot achieve that. But I am not worried. I am not sad. I am so happy. And of course, if you cannot add a player that can improve your squad, the most important is be sure that you don't lose your best player. And I think that was a great job from the club to keep the best player and keep the manager.
So there's Mauricio Pochettino. So, Jermaine, as a former Tottenham player, are you okay with it or pulling your hair out?
I have to say, I mean, the names that were mentioned, I wasn't overly excited anyway. It wasn't like, oh, this is going to absolutely turn this club upside down and drive them forward. The Bale one was just not realistic as far as I was concerned. There's no way that was ever going to happen. And then the others, don't get me wrong, Grealish, very good young player. I think Zaha was another one that got mentioned, which I thought, could add a little bit. But, Spurs brought in Lucas Moura last year that the fans basically saw very little of, that I'm expecting to see much more of this year. Yes, they're going to be disappointed. But the facts are, if they've highlighted certain players and not been able to achieve those players, I don't think going for second or third really suited what they were going for at the minute. The last part about what Mauricio has just said, though, is a slight concern to me. I know he mentioned the fact that, the club have managed to hold on to their best players, and there's a couple that have signed new contracts, the obvious one being Harry Kane and Son. But there's still, there's still this situation with Alderweireld and Danny Rose and Moussa Dembele that they've mentioned. And I know obviously the window over here is closed, but there's still the opportunity for those players to go abroad. Now, I don't think this team is strong enough to allow those players just to walk out the door and not bring anybody else in. He's got huge faith in his youngsters, in Carter Vickers and in the young lad Foyth. But I'm just still, I've not actually seen it yet within them both to say that they're capable of performing how they need to in the Premier League. So he has huge faith in his youngsters and in the academy, and rightly so. But they're really going to be put to the test this year, I have to say.
JJ, thanks for joining us tonight. I'll see you next week. We've been told that that's enough for you tonight, that you need just a short outing to get you back in. So
thank you.
We're expecting full
fitness. I appreciate it.
Yeah, have a nice meal. All right.
See you later, pal.
Ta-da. That's JJ Genius, who's going to be back with us next week. Can't wait to have him back in the studio with us. What about you guys on Spurs? I mean, I've got to admit, I'm really surprised, because you kind of think, well, we've talked about this starting 11 and how strong that potentially is for 2 or 3 seasons, but it's not leading to them winning trophies. I know they're moving into a new stadium, but would you have expected to see at least some business, David, or not?
I was surprised with the amount of negativity around Tottenham Hotspur yesterday because they didn't sign a player. Signing players doesn't mean that you're going to have a better team, because first and foremost the players then need to perform well to show that they make a difference. But I think for Tottenham, where they are, their style of play is very good. They've got an excellent manager. I actually agree. I think that keeping Harry Kane this summer was probably the biggest thing they could do, because I'm sure teams like Manchester United, Barcelona, Real Madrid would all have been interested in him if there was any sniff that he was leaving. So I think Tottenham have got a really good team. Yeah, have they got enough? I don't know, but to overtake Manchester City, I don't know what you would need to do to get enough to do that.
Dion, the adage is that if you're going to sign players and you're a big side like that you want them to come in and affect your team and make you better. Does that tell you that Tottenham couldn't find players to make their team better, or because they're moving into a new stadium that might not have been possible?
Possibly a bit of both from the outside looking in, Fletch. We really don't know why they haven't signed any players. I would imagine he has been looking. And I think he's the kind of manager that if he was trying to sign somebody or certain players, I don't think he's the kind of player that would hide behind saying, no, we haven't tried, and we didn't get them. I think he would have said, listen, we tried to get them, but we couldn't. I think he's that kind of coach. He's happy with his squad, Fletch. Sometimes you've got to say, listen, he's the manager. He's with his players day in, day out. He's with his squad day in, day out. He knows who's fit. He knows what quality he's got. And sometimes you have to say, listen, you carry on. You're in charge. If you get it wrong, then, you know, he'll get his comeuppance. But at the moment, you've got to give him a chance.
My feeling about Tottenham is that they operate to a wage structure that is far less than all of the other teams in the top 6. And therefore, they have developed players. So Dele Alli has improved at Tottenham and is the player he is now. Harry Kane has improved at Tottenham. If Tottenham were to try and buy the players who are in their first team now, they wouldn't be able to afford them. So how are they going to find players who can challenge those players for their first team? It doesn't make sense. They don't have the financial resource to be able to do that.
Is the worry, though, David, if you're a Tottenham fan, that you look at it and you say, well, everybody that we're going to be competing against in the Premier League is better, and all the teams that we're going to be competing against in the Champions League are better. You've not got better. Is there still growth within the Tottenham Hotspur squad that there is now to give the Tottenham supporters hope that they can improve without signing players still?
But at the moment, it's only better on paper. It's not better on the pitch.
Agreed.
So, I mean, I hear it all the time, and I laugh as a manager of everybody, and I'm including all the pundits and everybody who talk about the signings. I think, well, let's see if the players do the job. No, if the players do well, then you can talk about being a good window and making good signings. But I hear so much now about it, as if you spend more money, that guarantees you the success. Well, we've seen in recent windows, I don't think spending the money does guarantee you the success.
OK, so we're going to carry on with the football in a few minutes' time. Don't forget, we've got full commentary from Old Trafford with Dion and Connor from 8 o'clock. It's Manchester United against Leicester. Paul Pogba starts for Manchester United tonight. So does the new signing Fred. The youngster Andreas Pereira is in the team as well. Romelu Lukaku is among the subs. Harry Maguire is the standout name in the Leicester City team, a man that was linked with Manchester United all the way through the past few days. Simon Stone is going to leave us as well at this point. Simon, thanks a lot for being part of the programme tonight.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much for the insight.
See you, Simon. Take it easy, Simon. Enjoy the game, mate.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, you've got time for a quick pasty, Dion, before we get back and put you under pressure again.
That might be 2 pasties, Fletch, to be fair. I'm starving.
Good stuff. You're going to have a chat with your mate, and we'll be back at Old Trafford shortly. You're listening to 5 Live Sport. Darren Fletcher alongside David Moyes, Simon Stone, who's leaving us, Conor McNamara, Dion Dublin at Old Trafford for the big game, which kicks off in about 33 minutes' time. But we're going to turn our attention to cricket for the next few minutes. England on top at Lords, India all out for 107. The umpires have called stumps. Ellie Oldroyd's had to run down to the pitch side to get some interviews, so we're going to speak to the former England captain, Alex Stewart. Hello, Alec.
Good evening.
So James Anderson with the final wicket of Ishant Sharma today. It's been a good day, though, hasn't it, for England, even with the rain?
It's been an outstanding day, having lost all of day one due to rain. Today, again, rain curtailed, but England have just bowled India out in just 35.2 overs, all out for 107, as you quite rightly say. But James Anderson leading away, quite brilliant, 5 for 20 off 13.2 overs. He just showed why.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near.
It's deep in their bones, they'll run into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, guys.
Legends never die. Legends never die. Legends never die.
Young ones, but we live for saw her standing in the street alone, Her head was down, face locked onto the phone. And I wished I'd had a number so I could be caller unknown. And then I tell her to look into my eyes and never let it go.
I asked David that question. Yes, he was the manager of this club, but you've got Jesse Lingard, and you've got Pogba, and you've got Sanchez, and you've got Rashford, and you think, well, who do you leave out to play that number 10 role? Because they're all good enough to do an amazing job in that position. So it's finding the right positions. It's finding where that individual player is most effective for that team in that game, because it might change throughout the season. So I think it's down to the manager to know who he's playing against and to know what he has in his dressing room that's going to affect the game most.
10 minutes to the kick-off at Old Trafford. You can hear the atmosphere building up inside the stadium. I'm interested in this move for Johnny Evans as well. £3.5 million, which looks to me, when you think about the money that's been spent over the course of the transfer window, it looks to be an absolute bargain when you consider the teams that were looking to try and take him from West Brom in January. Have they got a really shrewd piece of business there, Leicester City, David?
I believe so. I think Johnny Evans is a really talented player, and I have to say, in my time at Manchester United, he played really well as a central defender, which he is. So I think it's good business, yeah, and I think that, you know, MD, I think most clubs would have been trying to get Johnny Evans, and as you say, the likes of Arsenal were keen on him in January, but it didn't quite go through for him. So he's not starting tonight. It's a wee bit of a surprise to me, but you know, the manager will know exactly where Johnny is as far as fitness goes.
I think what Craig was saying when we had Craig on just a minute ago, Fletch, is that, you know, you look at the bench and you've got Johnny Evans experience, Jamie Vardy experience, Mark Albrighton experience, you've got Fuchs experience, so, you know, a baller as well, a lot of quality, a lot of experience. So Leicester will come into this game thinking, you know what, we've got players on the bench that can affect this game if they're needed.
Do you think he'll be a nice compliment to Harry Maguire when he gets in the side, Johnny Evans? Can you see those two becoming quite a formidable partnership?
Yeah, I can. I can. Sorry, David, to jump in. Apologies. I can see that working. You know, I think what you've got with Morgan and Maguire is you've got Morgan, he's not a ball-playing centre-half at all. He'd be the one I'd want to go on to and play against Morgan, the physical type. Harry Maguire, very clever, comes out and plays. Johnny Evans is the same. I seen a huge change in Johnny Evans at his latter stages at Man United, where he didn't just want to clear it. He wanted to play. He wanted to bring it down. He wanted to back himself, and I think that's when he became better and better. When he went to West Brom, he was just outstanding.
Yeah, Johnny in his way was comfortable in the ball and will suit, and I think he'll go more onto his natural right hand side, because I could see him and Maguire playing alongside each other. But you know, the one thing is, you'll never get through the season with only two centre halves. You're going to need 3 or 4 as the season goes on, so we'll get a chance to see how he performs. But for me, Dion, one of the things that I'm looking at tonight is Maddison from Norwich coming into the team, Demarai Gray are probably 2 England young players who, you know, I would guess if Gareth Southgate was watching the game tonight, not only Rashford would be saying these 2 are probably 2 we have to look at to see if it's going to be the future. And there's been an awful lot of talk at the moment about the new signings, and that we're going to spend 60-70 million, and I just keep hearing, you know, how many good young English players there is, and at the moment they're not getting the opportunity.
Yeah, we've got the television pictures in here, and I've just seen a dad and his lad in the stand at Old Trafford, 2 Manchester United supporters. The young lad's got the new strip on, and he's talking to his dad behind his hand. You know the way the players do when they leave the pitch. And I've just seen his dad tell him to get his hand off his mouth because he can't hear him because of the crowd noise. These lads don't know how influential they are. Everything they do on the pitch is picked up by the youngsters. That's brilliant. Let's have a quick word on Jose Mourinho then. It wasn't a happy pre-season tour for Manchester United. Mourinho complained that much of his squad were absent after the World Cup. He's been critical of Anthony Martial, but he denies that he's fallen out with his players.
When you repeat 1,000 times that my relation with my players is not good, is a lie. That repeated 1,000 times is still a lie. But again, the perception of the people that reads can be different. But I like my players, I like my group. I enjoyed the last season fight to finish where we finish and to manage the best position for the club for the past 5 or 6 years. And sometimes it's also difficult to believe that I won 8 championships and 3 Premier Leagues, but I keep saying and thinking and feeling that the second position last season was one of my biggest achievements in the game. And I'm going to enjoy this season again. I know the words that you want me to say or not to say. Depends on the music, but words for me don't come easy. I think by the end of November, December, you don't need words. You will see by then which teams are candidates to win the Premier League. In this moment, words are not important. Let's play football. And by end of November, December, you don't need words. You will see which teams are candidates.
That's Jose Mourinho. Dion, I'd like to say he sounds happy enough, but I'm not sure I can.
I'm not sure if Mr. Mourinho has been happy for some time. I don't know if it's a persona or he doesn't want to see people, anybody see him laughing and enjoying himself, but I just think he wants more, Fletch. I think his persona is all about being greedy and wanting to win all the time and wanting more. And when he's not doing what he's used to doing and being at the top of the tree and not being the champions, I think he gets a little bit moody. And I don't think that's any bad thing at all. He wants to be the best. He's not at the moment, and he's striving to get back to where he thinks he should be and Man United should be. So whatever it takes for him to do that, he'll do his best.
Well, the Leicester City players are in the tunnel. The Manchester United players are walking out to join them now. Paul Pogba at the head of the line, the Manchester United captain tonight, starting after winning the World Cup with France in the summer. Some social coming in from you. Wes Morgan's going to need every bit of help he can get from Maguire, or else I expect Rashford and Sanchez to tear him apart. That's from Fred. Jay says, need Pogba to shine as captain after winning the World Cup. He needs to bring that mentality to his performances. Nick says Maddison's going to be an England star in a few years. Such a class player. Will be sad not to see him at Carrow Road anymore. Ross says, why is Vardy on the bench? He's been sat on the bench all summer. He surely doesn't need a rest. And Hannah says, looking at Manchester United's starting lineup, I'd say Leicester City have an excellent opportunity to bag all 3 points at the Theatre of Dreams tonight. Manchester United have won their opening fixture of the season more often than any other side in the Premier League. Leicester City have never won a Premier League game played on a Friday before. They've drawn 2 and lost 3. The players, for the first time this season in the Premier League, are on their way out, and your commentary team at Old Trafford are Dion Dublin alongside Conor McNamara.
Thank you very much, Darren. Paul Pogba leads out Manchester United as captain, the World Cup winner. And just as he had in Russia, Dion, it's a very unflashy haircut from Paul Pogba. He decided to let his football do the talking in Russia. And I think a lot of Manchester United fans will be very pleased that there's no fancy colours or letters or designs or logos. He's just got a normal haircut.
Yeah, he's played it down. He's just gone for the short back and sides as we know it. And I'm hoping that he's going to allow his football to take centre stage.
Paul Pogba, captain of Manchester United tonight, having become the first Manchester United player ever to score in a World Cup final. He scored the 3rd of the 4 goals that France scored in Moscow, the Luzhniki Stadium. Time moves on, and we're back to the Premier League. 84 days since Manchester United played in the FA Cup final at Wembley. And now Pogba's got some new teammates, particularly in the middle of the midfield. Andreas Pereira, who's been on Manchester United's books for many seasons, but was on loan at Valencia last year. He's done well on pre-season tour in America. He goes straight into the team this evening. And so too Fred, who was in the Brazil squad of the World Cup. He didn't get onto the pitch. There was various rumours. Was he injured? Had he just fallen out with the coach? But either way, he is in from the start for Jose Mourinho for this curtain raiser for the new Premier League season.
You know what? I think United will try and play the game in the right way. They'll try and play out from the back. You will see Fred dropping in to try and get the ball off of Bailly and Lindelof. He'll want to be the catalyst. He'll want to make his mark for Manchester United. And what a game. Friday night at Old Trafford. We're about 20 seats back from the Manchester United dugouts, and it's filling up.
It's the first of 144 Premier League commentaries we'll be bringing you live on 5 Live this season, more than any other UK broadcaster. I'm just looking down there, Dion, at Harry Maguire. You know, there's a parallel universe where Harry Maguire is starting the new Premier League season here at Old Trafford, but maybe wearing a red shirt. It seemed an obvious match of the summer. United needed a central defender. He'd been one of the breakthrough stars for England at the World Cup, but Leicester have the clout now. They have the financial resources. They were able to say, no, we might be letting Mahrez go. We're not letting Maguire leave.
Yeah, and fair play to them as well. Even for the warm-ups, when they came out for the warm-ups, Harry Maguire was in front of the side. He came straight out. He went straight over to the Leicester fans. He gave them a really nice round of applause, as if to say, listen, I am yours for this season, and I'll do my best for you this season. So that was a really nice touch from Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I spotted that. First thing he did when he came for the warm-up. Harry Maguire, who scored against Manchester United the last time these sides met. That was a 2-2 draw at the King Power in December. We're about to get started here at Old Trafford. Jose Mourinho is sitting in the dugout. He's he's got the crispest of white shirts. He gave that some extra starch, I'll tell you, before the iron was put on it. And he looks ready to go for the new season in a smart, dark suit. He looks ready for business. I think he's in the haircut as well. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he is. He's prepped for this one, Friday night. Looking very, very smart. That's how I like to see him. He's on the touchline already.
We are underway. Jose Mourinho takes a swig out of a red plastic bottle. The new Premier League season is up and at it. This time last year, Leicester were also involved in the opening game. It was against Arsenal. They conceded after just 90 seconds, so they'll hope for a more sturdy start to this season. But the new campaign is underway. So many stories of disgruntlement for Manchester United. But if their big names, if their stars can click, there is plenty of talent in this team. As a challenge comes in from Ricardo Pereira, who played for Portugal at the World Cup. New signing for Leicester. Great ball. Pogba releasing Darmian over the halfway line, right-hand side. Manchester United in the red shirts, black shorts, red socks. Good interception made by Chilwell, and he clears it away up towards the halfway line, where it's picked up by Fred. The first of what Manchester United fans hope will be many, many midfield interceptions from the Brazilian Fred, the man who they've brought in to reinvigorate the midfield. And he's in action again, skipping away from Ndidi, away from Maddison, and rolling the ball back to Lindelof. Manchester United come down the left. Shaw, great ball. Sanchez shoots from the outside of the right boot. It comes off the upper body of Morgan. It's a penalty. Leicester in danger of conceding inside 2 minutes again. Flashbacks of 12 months ago. Daniel Amartey adjudged to have handled in the penalty area, and Manchester United, with 90 seconds played at Old Trafford, are going to have a penalty. And will Kasper Schmeichel, who impressed saving penalties in the World Cup, can he do it again? But here at the alma mater, where his father was such a legend, Schmeichel, the Leicester goalkeeper, and it's Pogba who wants the penalty and stepping forward. Dion Dublin, what drama?
Yeah, just an interesting one there. It was handball. There was a massive appeal from Manchester United players. Juan Mata went to stand on the penalty spot as if to say, listen, I'll take this. Pogba took the ball in his hands, and Mata gave him a high five as to say, go ahead, sir.
It is deafening at Old Trafford. This is just the start the Manchester United fans wanted. The opening night of the 2018-2019 season. Paul Pogba, World Cup winner, runs up, dances up, very slowly scores to the top right-hand corner. Oh, I was worried there for a moment, Dion Dublin. That was a very strange run-up. It reminded me of Zaza at the Euros, but he put it in the top corner, and Manchester United lead Leicester 1-0.
That is the most bizarre. I can't even call it a run-up. It wasn't a run-up, it was a shuffle. He shuffled forward. He was about 4 strides away from the penalty spot. It took him about 15 steps to get there, but he waited and he waited and he was composed, and he put it in the top right-hand corner. Kasper Schmeichel's top left. He had no chance, went the right way, but Pogba is looking very confident.
Paul Pogba gets his first Premier League goal of the new season. He scores the first Premier League goal of the new season. The penalty given away inside 90 seconds. We were into the 3rd minute by the time he scored it. But what shades of a year ago, when Leicester on a Friday night, the opening night of the new season, conceded early against Arsenal. And here a year on, they concede early against Manchester United. And Jose Mourinho's campaign is up and running. Here is James Maddison, the new signing, the big money signing from Norwich for Leicester. Gives it to Gray on the left-hand side, whips in the cross. Bailly is well positioned, and he's able to clear it away. Mata, ball over the top. Sanchez is chasing after it. Schmeichel's come way out of his penalty area, but the Dane knew what he was doing, and he kicks it away for Leicester, who are going to lose it in the midfield. Leicester have not settled well here at all. Pereira to the left-hand side to Luke Shaw. This is so much more like it for Manchester United, Dion. After recent seasons of slow starts and stagnant midfield, this is all-out attacking football.
It is, and they've come out of the blocks absolutely flying. Fred is trying to get on the ball at every opportunity. Darmian's flying down the right-hand side. Luke Shaw is playing like a left winger. I know they do bomb on now, the fullbacks, but I've not seen Luke Shaw in a left-back spot as yet. And he was the one that created the chance for Sanchez that got the penalty.
We have played almost 5 minutes. It feels like half the Leicester team haven't even touched the ball yet. They've been completely swamped by a Manchester United side who have begun on the front foot. And you know, the build up to that penalty, Dion, was all started by an excellent Pogba pass inside his own half, and then when they won the penalty, he stood up and scored it.
Yeah, you know, he's got a wand of a right foot when he wants to ping a ball about, and he got it spot on. He switched the ball from the left back spot, Man United's left back spot, to the right back spot, right over to Darmian, and it just started the move. Man United, they want this game. They really do, and I can tell by the movement and the aggressive way that they're closing down that they've had a proper dressing down at the start of this season. They're to say, come on, you're Man United.
So slick. Sanchez on the middle of a 1-2 with Luke Shaw. Shaw tackled well by Amarty. Leicester have it on the right-hand side with Ricardo Pereira, and then it comes infield and through Maddison and back now to Ndidi, and they're just trying to get their composure here. They're treading water early on, Leicester City. Possession midway inside the visitors' half. Ndidi up through the halfway line, helped on into a more attacking location, and down the left-hand side comes Maddison, who is tackled and he is fouled, and it's a free kick to Leicester on the left. But they are still trying to settle into this game, having been shocked by the swiftness of Manchester United taking the early lead.
Yeah, and you know what I've been trying to figure out, because Leicester have been all over the place, and that's just due to Man United's flying start. I wasn't quite sure what formation they were playing. Were they playing a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3? Haven't figured it out yet, because all they've been trying to do is get the ball back.
Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. Leicester with his free kick. We've only played 6 minutes. Maddison and Chilwell, the two standing over it. Left-hand side as Leicester come forward, attacking the Stretford end. Manchester United have brought everyone apart from Alexis Sanchez back into the penalty area to defend it. Here's Chilwell's delivery. Harry Maguire tried to get on the end of it. Pogba was there to head it away. He's involved in everything, Pogba. And Alexis Sanchez with a party piece of a flick to set Rashford over the halfway line. Ndidi's trying to keep up with him. Good pace from Ndidi to catch Rashford and make sure he didn't break into the penalty area. And then good work by Pereira over there, and Leicester regain possession. But everything about Manchester United's movement suggests they are ultra motivated for this one, as Fred wins it back in the midfield and then gives it away again. Damari Gray near the centre circle, leaves it for Adrian Silva, who, remember, this time last year missed the transfer deadline by 14 seconds and didn't get to play until it opened again in January. But he's in for the start of his first full campaign now as a Leicester City player. He's on the ball at the moment. Pogba lunges in to put pressure on him, and that forces Leicester to go back to Wes Morgan.
Yeah, I think Man United have got to be a little bit careful giving away free kicks in crossing areas. What I mean by that is the final third. We've just had a great out-swinging cross from Chilwell, but Maddison as well can really put it on a sixpence for them. If you've got the big men in there, they've got the quality to put it into the area it needs to be.
So after all the doom and gloom and the negative speculation and the cloud that was hanging over Manchester United in their US tour, they have started the Premier League on fire. 100 miles an hour stuff. Maybe it was all rope-a-dope. Yeah, maybe Mourinho just took the punches knowing his team would bounce back.
He was fending them off, and he's out the corner. He's in the middle of the ring now. And we used to see Man United in white shorts, because it looks kind of dark looking.
No, it's the new style, as is very much in vogue, that the bottom of the shirt kind of blends into the same colour as the shorts. But yeah, it's a decent looking kit as ball is played forward by Amarty towards the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Ian Acho, who's starting tonight with Vardy on the bench, he's not been given a sniff so far. Manchester United bossing the midfield as Pogba rolls it back to Luke Shaw. Pogba involved again. Beautiful touch onto Fred, and Fred in field to Alexis Sanchez. It is like the Manchester United of old, how they're turning defence into attack here, albeit on this occasion it breaks down just inside Leicester territory. 1-0 to Manchester United on 5 line.
Yeah, you've got Mata playing in this little position. What he likes, just like we call it breaking the lines, so he's not quite in midfield, he's not quite up front, he's in that little pocket and he's looking to get it off of Fred and Pogba when they win the ball back. Then you've got Rashford and Sanchez, red arrows at the moment.
Well, 2 seasons ago these sides met in a curtain raiser of a different sort. It was August 2016, Leicester were the reigning champions. Manchester United had won the FA Cup and they played each other in the Community Shield. Tonight it's the opening fixture of the new Premier League season, and Paul Pogba's penalty already has Manchester United in front as Demarai Gray tries to go around Darmian, who certainly does foul him. And this is what you spoke about, Dion, giving away free kicks and crossing positions.
Yeah, because, like I said, they have got quality. They've got some big lads as well. Maguire's making his way forward. Morgan's making his way forward now. Iheanacho's no midget either. He will definitely put himself about. So yeah, you've just got to be careful. You've just got to be careful, Man United, because you don't want to give away. They started so well. If they start giving away loads of free kicks like this, it could be a problem.
Don't forget, you can listen to us tonight on the BBC Sport website as well, while perusing the live text commentary and the pictures and the interactions on social media. I like this comment from Moon. He says, in my opinion, that penalty from Pogba is the best goal of the season so far. He's not wrong. Yes. It's the only goal of the season so far. As the free kick is played in, headed to the back post and back out to Chilwell on the left-hand side as Pereira launches himself into a tackle on Adrian Silva. But Leicester do regain possession, and they haven't with Amarty.
That was some balling, by the way. James Maddison in swinger this time. Paul Pogba for the second time clearing for Manchester United, doing his defensive duties. Man United now, they haven't got the ball. They've gone into a 4-4-2, leaving Rashford and Sanchez up top. Two banks of four. Leicester, can you break us down? That's what they're saying.
Yes, the main headline from Old Trafford so far, that Pogba has begun as Manchester United captain. He's begun in certainly a more attacking role. Fred is filling in a defence. Even Pereira's been deeper than Pogba, and he's operating like he did for France in the World Cup. As here come Leicester. Ricardo Pereira down the right-hand side, gives it infield to Maddison, too far in front to Demarai Gray, though Gray, interestingly, does applaud that pass, and he says to James Maddison, yeah, that's the kind of area I want you to play it into for me.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Fred will have to be careful of. He just switched off for 2 or 3 seconds there when Leicester had the ball on the right-hand side. Maddison just drifted by him. He didn't follow him, and then he nearly realised too late the ball was a bit strong for Gray. It was the correct ball, it was the long execution, but Fred's got to be aware that he's playing in the Premier League now.
Long clearance by David De Gea, who's not had a shot to save yet. Ndidi onto the right-hand side to Ricardo Pereira. Leicester must retreat here to hold on to possession, and they will. They turn and roll it all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, who could do little about the penalty. It struck right in the postage stamp corner. Match of the day, by the way, tomorrow night, 10:20 on BBC One. And as we said at the time, Dion, one of the more unusual run-ups for a penalty that you'll see. Here comes Chilwell for Leicester. Good break from the halfway line. He's into the penalty area here. Bailly needs to storm across. What a tackle. What a tackle from Eric Bailly. He launched himself there, both feet in the ground, but not in a dangerous manner, and he won the ball cleanly, and Manchester United clear it away.
Yeah, the reason why he went to ground, we always say now, listen, don't go to ground, stay on your feet if you can. If you go to ground, you're giving the referee a decision to make. He got it bang on. He knew he was going to win the ball. He put his whole body behind it, won it comfortably, came out playing.
Darmian clears it long for Manchester United. Wes Morgan wins the header. Maguire gets in a tangle with his England colleague Rashford. Rashford a little bit late to get to his feet, but he's back up now. Mata has it for Manchester United. Wide on the right-hand side. Tries to cross it in left-footed. Maguire's header still inside the penalty area when it comes down. Pogba doesn't compete for the ball because he knew he was in an offside position, and eventually Amarty is there and able to clear it away. They're trying to get Iheanacho into the game. He's in a tussle here with Lindelof. Lindelof holds him off, and eventually Iheanacho allows the ball leave the field of play because he knows it's going out for a Leicester throw. Dion Dublin.
He might have to play a different game tonight. Iheanacho, he seems to be up there on his own in between Bailly and Lindelof at the moment. So yeah, he might have to play the workman-like game tonight, and then he might get his chance. If he puts the work in, you normally get a little bit lucky. But yeah, it's work first tonight for Iheanacho.
Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. Pogba's early penalty. Adrian Silva midway inside the Manchester United half now. Gives it to Gray, back into Maddison, back to the halfway line to Harry Maguire. Leicester playing from right to left as we look down. The supporters are housed away to our right-hand side. Wes Morgan passes it low to the right to Amarty. Back in field again to Morgan, and there's no press this time from Manchester United. Rashford just loiters inside the centre circle. Maguire will bring it over the halfway line. Right-footed pass onto Chilwell. This is 5 yards outside the Manchester United penalty area now. Demarai Gray, lovely little nutmeg there on Darmian. Here comes the cross from Gray. Stooping in for it was Maddison, well defended by Eric Bailly. That was better, that from Leicester, as indeed he turns and shoots. He was off balance. It didn't have the power, but it was on target in the end, and De Gea had to make a save. We've played quarter of an hour. That's the best attack from Leicester so far. Here come Manchester United down the other end. Alexis Sanchez unable to get it to stick, and Leicester will clear away.
Yeah, I think the shot that came in from Demarai Gray, I think it was slightly deflected by Iheanacho.
Here comes Chilwell. Strong challenge again from Bailly. Play on, says the referee. Gray floats it in. Here's Iheanacho. Great first touch. Puts it wide with his second. He struck it low. Across the face of goal, it went wide of the far post. But Iheanacho, who's not had a chance in the opening quarter of an hour, did well to get onto that one. And the ball goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, great play from Demarai Gray there. Standing up, Darmian going past him. And it wasn't a cross. It was like on his right foot, it was just a bit of a scoop. He's bang on side as well, Iheanacho, just watching the replay, and he actually took it with his left foot. There was too much presence from the Man United defence for him to get a proper shot off.
Simon Long is the assistant on the far side. He raised his flag. He said Iheanacho was offside, so that wouldn't have counted had it gone in. It wasn't a goal kick from De Gea. It was a free kick out for offside, but we've seen the replay. He looked like he was on.
Yeah, it does.
Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. It's been a very high-tempo start at Old Trafford to kickstart this new campaign. Great to have an evening kick-off, an 8 o'clock kick-off. Still plenty of daylight in the sky. Old Trafford is illuminated. It's been a lovely day in this part of the world. Blue sky and sunshine. And Manchester United have started the new campaign with a goal inside 3 minutes. The penalty from Pogba as Lukaku goes for his first warm-up of the evening.
I challenge you, my partner, to see an empty red seat in this stadium. Absolutely nowhere to be seen. It's absolutely jam-packed here. To my right, as I look, I can just see right next to the corner flag the blue fans, all the blue shirts of Leicester. They must have sold every single ticket as well. What a great start to the season.
Full house at Old Trafford, where here Manchester United haven't lost a home game on a Friday night in 68 years. They don't play all that many of them, of course, but Birmingham City, the last to do so in 1950. Leicester have come here tonight and they already find themselves chasing the game. Oh, a real mix-up there between Ndidi and Silva. They left the ball for each other. Fred didn't leave it for anyone. He nipped in and the ball goes out of play for a throw into Leicester. What have you made of Fred so far, Dion? Because Manchester United fans tuning in will be very keen to hear how he's settling in.
You know, his game is to intercept and try to break things up and what we call the ugly work. What he's got to be careful of is not try to nip inside all the time and be careful of what's going on behind you.
Ricardo Pereira, middle of the midfield for Leicester to James Maddison, one of the new signings, bearing down on the penalty area. Good work by Pereira. Andres Pereira, the Manchester United player, to intercept, but then it's given away by Mata, and indeed he gives it to Adrian Silva. So just to confirm, Ricardo Pereira is the Leicester player, Andres Pereira is the Manchester United player. On opposing sides this evening, as Ricardo Pereira attacks down the right-hand side, Lindelof goes with him, and the assistant raises the flag and says the ball had left the field of play, and that will be a Manchester United throw. They still lead 1-0.
Yeah, they're trying to get into the game. Leicester, every avenue they try to go down, it's just not working at the moment. Indeed, he's trying to stamp his authority on the game. What Adrian Silva, should I say, he's getting a little bit deeper now, trying to get on the ball because he's had no joy as yet. So Leicester are trying to find the pockets. There are no pockets as yet, and Man United look very steady and sturdy indeed.
Claude Puel is out to the edge of the Leicester City technical area. This is the 9th time he's played a competitive game against Manchester United. He's only beaten them once. That was a long time ago, back when he was manager at Lille. But he'll be disappointed with his team going behind so early. That penalty scored by Paul Pogba, who's on the ball now. Number 6 on his back, the Manchester United captain. Short to Pereira. So often on the fringes of Manchester United. Can this be his breakthrough season, having done well on loan at Valencia in Spain last year? Fred picks it up with sort of silver-white boots, rolls it left-footed back to Eric Bailly, and now to the near touchline to Darmian, the Manchester United right back. Jose Mourinho, hands deep into his pockets, just slowly striding up and down on the edge of the technical area, but he must be so pleased at this opening 19-20 minutes that he's seen from his team.
Yeah, he's just bending down now. He's bending now. He's got paper and pen in his hands, and he's just writing a note on a little bit of piece of paper behind the water bottle so nobody can see it. He's keeping it nice, and he turned it over as well.
Yeah, it's the way of the world, isn't it? With the long lenses, everything has to be kept under wraps.
If you could, it's the equivalent of talking with your hand over your mouth. Yes. You make a note, you turn it over.
Just a little break in the play here for a moment here at Old Trafford. Referee's about to get them restarted on the far side. Just a reminder, tomorrow Newcastle against Tottenham, and then Fulham against Crystal Palace. Our picks on 5 Live for the commentary. Saturday afternoon goal service with Ian Dennis from 3 o'clock. On Sunday we'll be at the Emirates. Arsenal against Manchester City, who myself and Dion saw last weekend win the Community Shield. And I think, Dion, without ever having to get out of third gear, Manchester City looked very good. So even though Manchester United have started well tonight, and it bodes well, they are going to have to play at such a high consistent level to challenge City for the title this season.
Yeah, and who's saying that they can't do it? You know, the attitude of the players so far in the first 25 minutes has been good. They've played some really good football. Man United base their game on movement. Pass it, move it quickly, get it forward, attack quickly. They've done it so far.
Luke Shaw, left-hand side for Manchester United, midway into the Leicester half, gets it back from Fred. First time layoff to Rashford, who's 5 yards outside the penalty area. He brings Fred into it once again, spirals around 360 degrees, turns Silva inside out. Now a chance for Rashford to break into the penalty area on the left, but Amartey is big and strong, and he holds off young Marcus Rashford, the new Manchester United number 10. Oh, he's picked his pocket. Rashford put his feet in between Amartey's legs and dragged the ball out and was almost into the penalty area. That was such quick thinking. Now, doesn't that just sum up Marcus Rashford?
That's brilliant. Amartey is in the corner. He's in his right back spot. Amartey near the corner flag. He's trying to hold off Rashford. He's got his legs wide apart, really strong. So Rashford thinks, I'll just put my foot in between your legs. It was like a reverse nutmeg.
1-0 to Manchester United at Old Trafford. Leicester have struggled to create openings. Their one chance for Iheanacho wouldn't have counted even if it had gone in, because he was offside. As good work by Darmian in the midfield. You know, there's a few down there. I think Darmian, Luke Shaw, Pereira, they were in danger of becoming forgotten men at Old Trafford. Now, whether it's a shortage of options or whether it's that they have impressed him, but they've showed up for Jose Mourinho tonight.
They haven't, you know. David Moyes said as well, you know, sometimes it's a chance for players that haven't really started and haven't played loads of games to say, listen, I want to play. I'm good enough to play. I can show you how good I am at right back and at left back, and if you need me to be fitter, I can do that. Give me a chance. And they've got their chance, and tonight, so far, Luke Shaw and Darmian are looking very positive and comfortable.
Still a long way to go. We're almost quarter way through the game. 22 minutes on the clock. Fred has it near the centre circle, rolls it back to Pereira. It's interesting. Andres Pereira is playing as the deepest lying Manchester United midfielder. Fred's ahead of him and Pogba ahead of both of them. Here is Darmian. Attacking position on the right-hand side. Gets within 5 yards of the byline. Pulls it back to Fred. Left-footed cross. High and hanging. And Alexis Sanchez was never going to beat the taller Amartey. Pogba for a moment thought he was going to get a shot, but Iheanacho was able to nip in and tackle him. And then Pogba, very muscular, tries to run back and tackle Iheanacho, and he ends up dumped to the ground. Tell you what, Iheanacho's not as tall as Pogba, but he's very sturdy. Yeah. You don't knock him off the ball easily.
No, not at all. That was just a case of body weight being in the right place just at the right time. Paul Pogba didn't expect it. Iheanacho nudged him off the ball, and he didn't like it, Paul Pogba. He normally comes out on top with the ball, but Iheanacho said, right, here we go. And then Pogba was straight on his feet again and got the ball back for United. Good battle, that. And Iheanacho, they're working for his team. He knows that he can't play the out-and-out centre-forwards role tonight, having to do the dirty work, and he doesn't mind it. He's done it so far.
There is a noise at Old Trafford tonight that I've not heard for a while. You know, I don't want to over-egg the pudding here. I'm not saying this is Manchester United are back and they're going to win the treble or anything, but there is a noise, there is an enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You know, you get the feeling the fans are on the edge of their seat here. They are very interested in what they see, and that's not been the case for quite a few seasons. Amartey comes over the halfway line on the right-hand side. Back into the middle to Adrian Silva. Leicester struggling to break into the final third as Adrian Silva tries to scoop it over the top. Ricardo Pereira, who when we saw him at the World Cup was playing right back for Portugal, he's right winger for Leicester tonight. Is a good turn here by Adrian Silva, and now maybe indeed he can shoot. Well, he would have done, but Pereira was in to stop that at source. Good challenge on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, and the loose ball spills through to De Gea.
Yeah, I think the atmosphere tonight, Conor, the atmosphere is down to the way the players have started the game. They have given the fans some... You can listen to them singing now. They're out their seats. Their arms are in the air, and they're singing for their side because their side have shown a little bit of something they haven't shown for a long time. A bit of spark. And playing the Man United way, it's really good to see.
Jose Mourinho has never lost to Claude Puel as a coach. They came up against each other when Mourinho was with Madrid, and he beat Puel's Lyon in the Champions League. Here is Pereira's cross for Leicester from the right-hand side, and Bailly with his studs. It was sort of a volley, but with his studs to clear it away inside the penalty area. Pereira completes the clearance. Still 1-0 Manchester United.
Yeah, very lucky there. Very lucky. Amati putting a great ball in, and Bailly, he got lucky because I think if Iheanacho would have tried to get across him, it was either a goal or a penalty because his foot was so high.
Mata onto Rashford to set Manchester United in motion once again. Here's little Fred, 5'6" tall, into Pogba, holding off Adrian Silva and rolling it back into his own half to Lindelof. And now here's Mata again on the left wing for Manchester United. Short to Rashford, back to Shaw. Manchester United's passing has had a crispness about it tonight. Pogba's penalty came early. If you're joining our coverage late here tonight on 5 Live, the penalty was given away inside 90 seconds. By the time it was reset and scored, there still wasn't 3 minutes on the clock when Pogba was celebrating his penalty being scored. Adrian Silva, good ball to Damari Gray. He's got Chilwell in support outside him on the left. Leicester need a good delivery here. Darmian backs away from Chilwell. Here is Maddison, James Maddison, the new signing. Lovely layoff from Ricardo Pereira. That was a good move, and Chilwell will win a corner. Corner to Leicester on the left-hand side.
Yeah, great interception there from Bailly, making sure that ball doesn't find its way into a dangerous area. A little bit of a triangle there. Maddison, Gray, Chilwell, all sort of interplay there. Triangles, getting into dangerous area. This is where Leicester can be dangerous.
20 minutes to half-time. It's the opening night of the new Premier League season. We're live at Old Trafford. Leicester trail 1-0. Here comes the corner played in, and Pogba, that was Rashford. It heads it away inside the 6-yard box, and it goes out for a Leicester throw on the left-hand side. And the referee, Andre Mariner, is just asking them to hold on for a moment. Don't take the throw yet. And I'm not quite sure what he's looking at. Some breaking news on 5 Live is that Gareth Southgate, the England manager, is here, and he's not wearing a waistcoat, Dion. I think that's the most important thing to say straight out. Yeah. Waistcoat is so June and July.
Yes.
We're over that now. We're into August.
Absolutely. He's waistcoatless.
Waistcoatless. Sitting alongside Roberto Martinez, the Belgian coach, who will be hoping that Romelu Lukaku can come on at some stage to make his trip worthwhile.
He's got some good young talent to look at tonight, Gareth Southgate. He was always going to be here. There's always going to be a big game. And the quality so far we've seen has at this time come from Manchester United. There's loads of time left.
Damari Gray gives it away in the midfield for Leicester. Here's Pogba, surges around first Ndidi, then Amati, but Gray, who was the original player who lost the ball, worked so hard to win it back again. Here comes Ricardo Pereira for Leicester. Good ball. Maddison on the edge of the... he tried a little disguised pass back to Ricardo Pereira that was well read by the Manchester United defence. Then Shaw and Pogba between them hesitate about clearing it, so Leicester will get a chance to come again. Ndidi onto Adrian Silva. This is midway inside the Manchester United half. Central location. Brilliant ball. Ricardo Pereira, the penalty area. Back to Maddison. Must be saved by De Gea. Iheanacho tries to follow up, and Manchester United clear it away. Well, he's done it again. David De Gea with a world-class save to preserve Manchester United's lead.
It's world-class. I'll tell you why it's world-class. The shot comes in from, I don't know, it's got to be 10 yards, catches it full force. I think it was Damari Gray, catches it full force. No, it's not. It's Maddison actually on his right foot. from 8 yards out, and it's in the goal. But he puts his arm out and bounces it away from danger.
Well, that's the most dangerous moment that Leicester have created so far as the corner comes in and De Gea punches a Ricardo Pereira shot is blocked on its way through and it spins out for another corner. Well, I'll tell you what, Manchester United bossed the opening 25 minutes of this game, but now the tide is shifting ever so slightly, and you would certainly say Leicester are back in it.
Well, they are, and it's down to quality crosses in the box and a little bit of quality football on the edge of the box as well. Like I've said many times, Conor, you keep giving free kicks when Maddison's delivery is outstanding.
James Maddison, who thought he had scored a debut goal at Old Trafford. Here comes the corner, hanging in high, headed away by Lindelof. It will be a third corner in quick succession for Leicester City, who trail 1-0 here at Old Trafford.
And I think this is the one that they like. They've had two in-swinging corners from Maddison. The ball's gone out on the other side. He's jogged all the way onto the other side now, unless he's going to take this with his left foot and do another in-swinger. I think it's going to be an out-swinger, and this is what Morgan and Maguire and most people that attack the ball like.
So many Manchester United fans will have been delighted that Courtois has signed for Real Madrid, if only that it keeps De Gea out of the Bernabeu's clutches. That is the sort of save he made so regularly last season. And now, chance of a counter-attack for Manchester United. Fred is beaten in the sprint, though, by Demarai Gray. Otherwise, he had a clean-through run and Rashford in support. Here come Leicester. Iheanacho beaten to the ball. There's a trip on Maddison. Referee says free kick. Manchester United continuing to give away free kicks and corners around their penalty area, and this one is probably within shooting distance. Dion Dublin.
This has been a good little spell for Leicester. They've said to themselves, listen, we've had a bit of joy, let's just keep being annoying, let's stay in their faces, let's not let them play. There's been some great play from United first 20-25 minutes, but the way Leicester have stood at it, they've really had a go. You've got Maguire and Maddison standing over this ball now, 25 yards out. Both of them got their hands on their hips. Silva's now joining the party. I think Amarty's joining the party as well.
Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. Last season Manchester United won every time that they scored first in a Premier League game. But this is a moment where they need to defend their lead. We've played half an hour.
If you can beat David De Gea from here, I'm going to stand up and tap him.
Yeah, this is 10 yards outside the D, central location. It'll be Chilwell or Maddison. It looks primed for Maddison. Let's see. Chilwell runs over it. Maddison hits it. The wall does its job. And Rashford clears the ball away. Amarty back into the mix, but he's overstruck it, and Darmian should be able to mop that up. So a moment of danger for Manchester United appears to have passed, and they still lead 1-0.
Yeah, they're the bits of danger that Man United have got to cut out of their game. Just got to stay concentrating now. You've got to Paul Pogba a couple of times, as well as he's played. He's been caught on the ball a few times. He's been nudged off the ball. Leicester have won it back in good areas and attacked quickly.
Lovely awareness there from Harry Maguire. He allowed the ball bounce over him, knowing that Wes Morgan had more space behind. Kasper Schmeichel clears it away, right-footed, straight down the middle, over the halfway line, where Iheanacho is offside. Apart from the goal, the penalty scored by Pogba, Schmeichel's not really had another save to make. For all the build-up play from Manchester United, they've yet to warm his glove since that penalty.
Yeah, he's had a couple of clearances, the keeper, and I don't think Schmeichel's really, his kit's absolutely spotlessly clean at the moment. What Leicester have done is they've got Ricardo Pereira into the game. He's now running at defenders. He's now getting a little bit of joy, putting the ball in dangerous areas.
Here he comes down the right-hand side, beating Sanchez to the ball. He's got real pace as the Portuguese international. Steadies himself, crosses low, not a good cross. Lindelof comfortably clears away. That was nowhere near getting through to Iheanacho, which was the target, but Leicester will come again. Amarty on the right-hand side, back to Adrian Silva, now James Maddison, midway inside the Manchester United half, right of centre. Amarty gives it back to Maddison once again. You can see that Claude Puel wants Maddison to be the playmaker. Everything's through him. Here's Demarai Gray into the box, sliding with Shaw. By very calm and composed. Tell you what, I think there was a bit more danger than he realised there. He used a little cushion header in front of his own goal, but Manchester United did get it away, but only briefly. Leicester much more in the game now. Gray on the right wing, trying to get around Luke Shaw. Shaw does well, helped out by Andres Pereira, but Manchester United still pinned back inside their final third, and they almost lose the ball again. Fred should clear now, and he does with a lovely ball to Juan Mata on the halfway line, and Mata, normally so delicate a touch when he passes, he overstruck that ball for Rashford, and it ran through for Kasper Schmeichel. But the last 10 minutes, Dion, have been Leicester's.
Yeah, they have, and just a better shape. Ricardo Pereira get on the ball. Chilwell, I can see Chilwell now, he's just staying away. The ball's on the right wing for Leicester, but he's staying away on the left wing, just trying to stretch Man United, make Man United think a little bit, because at the moment, or should I say, for the first 25 minutes they had it their own way. Well, Leicester have come into the game and played some really good football. Jose Mourinho beginning his third season as Manchester United manager. He's had 5 managerial jobs before this, including the boat spells at Chelsea. In all those previous jobs, he always won the title in the second season. It's the first time in his career that he's not been able to do that, and he's hoping it could be third time lucky. Maguire plays it from the halfway line wide out to the right hand side. Amartey controls under pressure from Alexis Sanchez. He does well in a tight corner, and he gives it back to Wes Morgan. Leicester's passing has been good for the last 10 minutes. Adrian Silva, no chances taken, turns and takes the easy option back to Wes Morgan. Now Maguire, white boots for Harry Maguire, the Leicester City number 15, who was one of the star names for England in the World Cup of the summer. But Leicester have managed to hold on to him despite interest from elsewhere, including the team they're playing at tonight. Adrian Silva has it for Leicester, who trail 1-0 here at Old Trafford. Indeed, he plays it forward. Iheanacho could be in. Lindelof tries to hold him up. That's very good defending from Lindelof. You have to say, Iheanacho, we mentioned earlier in the commentary how muscly he is, and that was defending that needed to be so strong. Lindelof gets up feeling his shoulder because he was in a right old tangle there. More from Dion on that in just a moment, but Leicester is still on the attack. Chilwell on the left wing tries a nutmeg on Darmian, which doesn't come off, and Fred is able to intercept. Oh, they've nearly given it away. Fred not aware of the pressure he was under. Damari Gray picks it up once more for Leicester, and he's got support from Chilwell. This is attacking position for Leicester. Good recovery from Darmian, and he puts it out for a throw. It's all goal, Dion Dublin. What a game! What a game! This is like a game I used to play in the school playground. The ball's being given away. It's just bouncing everywhere. Leicester have got it, and then Man United get it back because they've worked so hard. What's happened at the end of all that, and at the end of all that football after giving it away so much, Leicester have got a free kick again in the dangerous area. I'm just watching the replay here of the Iheanacho chance, and Darmian made, it was Lindelof actually that made a really,
do you know what he's done?
Really good challenge, but he fell funny.
He has fallen funny in the way that Mo Salah did in the Champions League final. Both players are trying to hold each other off. There's a tangle of arms, and it's not exactly the same as that Ramos Salah, but the way Lindelof fell, he landed bang on the shoulder. He's going to be okay, and he gets back to his feet.
Yeah, I've dislocated my collarbone twice. I know exactly what you mean.
Here comes the free kick. Chilwell delivers for Leicester, headed away by Andreas Pereira for Manchester United, but back out to Chilwell from where the free kick came. There's 10 minutes to half-time at Old Trafford. Manchester United lead 1-0. Rashford back defending inside the penalty area, gives it to Luke Shaw, and it goes out for another Leicester throw, and Leicester are continuing to embed themselves in the Manchester United half. It's been a funny old game. Those opening 20 minutes, we couldn't say enough good things about Manchester United, and Jose Mourinho must have been so pleased. But while they still retain the lead here, the tide has turned, and Manchester United are now more and more pinned back.
Yeah, they are, and it's just down to Leicester getting their foot on the ball, passing the ball to each other, making sure that the pass gets there, choosing the right pass. And Man United are now having to think about how they can get a second goal, or even hold on to this goal, because Leicester have played so well. And there are elements to this game. You've got on the left-hand side, you've got Chilwell and Gray, going at Darmian and Bailly's. Great little challenge there. And on the right-hand side, you've got Ricardo Pereira and Amartey helping him out. Really good game.
Fred with a good ball up to Alexis Sanchez, bearing down on the Leicester penalty area, but indeed he nips in and makes a very good challenge on Alexis Sanchez and runs the ball out of play. Leicester will have a throw on the far side. So we've reached the 39th minute. If you're joining us late here tonight on 5 Live, this is the opening Premier League game of the new season. Manchester United were awarded a penalty for a Daniel Amartey handball inside 90 seconds. Paul Pogba with the most bizarre run-up for a penalty I've seen since the Italian Zaza at the last European Championships, but the difference being that he did stick it into the top corner. That gave Manchester United the lead early. De Gea's made one world-class save to deny James Maddison, and it's 1-0 to Manchester United here. And Fred, on his debut for Manchester United, shuffles it back to Mata, spins away from James Maddison. Pogba with the ball back into Andreas Pereira, and Manchester United retreat to Lindelof once more. Now it's Leicester's turn to put bodies behind the ball, and Manchester United can look to come on them. Pogba, a 1-2 with Mata, out to Shaw on the far side, and back in field to World Cup winner Paul Pogba once again. He tries to deliver a direct ball. He was looking for Rashford, cut out by Wes Morgan. Pogba gets it back again, plays a 1-2, shoots, and too close to the goalkeeper. Kasper Schmeichel saves from Paul Pogba.
You know what, that's just, again, good defending from Leicester. Man United looked like they were in control of that, but I'm not sure they were. They won't mind Pogba shooting from 30 yards out. Kasper Schmeichel's a good enough keeper to deal with speculative efforts, but good organised defending that was from the two centre-halves, especially of Leicester.
You know, Dio, we spent the month together in Russia at the World Cup. It was such great fun, and I have to admit there was this bit of a worry coming back to the normal football, back to the domestic league. I thought, it's going to be a bit drab and disappointing. This has been great. Here come Manchester United into the penalty area. Sanchez is offside. He tries to head the ball over Schmeichel. It ends up going over the crossbar. But there is a vibrancy to this game. There's an atmosphere in the crowd, and it's like the World Cup never ended.
Yeah, and you know what a great game to start the Premier League. You know, nearly scoring a second here. Fred just putting it into an area for Sanchez to either bring it down. He tries to head it on. It's one of those where the keeper thinks he can come, but he can't. He's caught in two minds, and Sanchez tried to nudge it over him. I think he was offside anyway, but this game's now evened out. I don't think either side's on top. Leicester have found their pace a little bit too slow because they went one down, but they've now got a foothold.
Here is Damari Gray midway inside his own half. Mix up with Adrian Silva. Rashford tries to capitalise. Maguire with an important touch just to hold up Manchester United. He didn't win the ball back, Maguire, but he managed to delay things, and Rashford has it on the right wing now. He gives it short infield to Paul Pogba, and then Fred, left-footed, will spray the ball crossfield, and it lands right on the instep of Luke Shaw. He's got a brilliant first touch and a 1-2 with Mata. Shaw's in the penalty area. He shoots low, and it's saved by Kasper Schmeichel. Luke Shaw, who has never scored a goal in his club career, I thought that was going to be the moment. It's saved by Kasper Schmeichel.
As soon as he came onto his right foot, I thought, no, it's not going to be the moment for Luke Shaw.
If it was on his left boot,
absolutely
maybe.
different
right foot,
kettle of fish altogether.
Here is Fred for Manchester United, who are trying to regain the tempo. Saw them dominate the early stages of this game before then just dropping off a little bit and inviting Leicester back into them. But it's been very competitive here for this opening match of the new Premier League campaign. It continues tomorrow on 5 Live. We bring in Newcastle against Tottenham with the correspondent John Murray, and then Ian Dennis at 3 o'clock. Newly promoted Fulham and their new host of signings will take on Crystal Palace, the usual round-the-ground goal scorers service with Deno as well from 3 o'clock tomorrow. And once it's up and running, this new season just won't stop through till next June. But here at Old Trafford, Pogba's penalty the difference. Half-time approaching. We've got 3 minutes of normal time to go now.
There's been a nice little bit of rotation between Fred and Andreas Pereira. When Fred goes, Pereira stays, and when Pereira goes, Fred stays. I think it's really good to see the understanding of those two holding midfield players.
Just watching the body language of Claude Puel there. He absolutely loved a tackle that Adrian Silva made on Paul Pogba, because it was all about being in Pogba's face, not being intimidated by him, and Puel applauded that as Leicester try to get it up to Iheanacho again. Iheanacho, who's had one chance in the game that he put across the face of goal and wide. Otherwise, Leicester have failed to involve their centre forward. If you didn't hear the team news earlier, Jamie Vardy, who signed a new contract that'll take him up to his 36th year of age, is on the bench tonight. Iheanacho, who scored plenty of goals in pre-season, is the man who has started, but he's not been afforded the chances so far. As ball will get back underway with a throw into Leicester on the far, free kick to Leicester on the far side.
See every opportunity they get now. This is 20 yards, 25 yards away from the edge of Man United's 18-yard line on the right wing, right on the touchline. Every opportunity, the two centre forwards go forward.
Maddison to take. James Maddison, the new signing from Norwich City, named to the Championship Team of the Year last season. He was Norwich's Player of the Season. It's played in, there's pushing in there, and the referee blows his whistle before Chilwell blazes it over the top on a free kick out to Manchester United.
That was the two England teammates there clashing. I think Harry Maguire thought it was going to beat Rashford. Got his elbow up there, got his hand up there, just a bit of leverage, caught Rashford in the back of the neck, and they're back stood by each other now. Maguire in his centre-half spot, Rashford in his centre-forward spot, and they haven't even spoken a word to each other. Just how I like it.
The number 10, new number for Marcus Rashford, it suits him. He looks at 10, doesn't he?
He can carry it off, without a doubt.
Prestigious number in any team. It's, number 10 is the new number for Marcus Rashford this season. Still 20 years of age.
20 years old, is he?
21, isn't he, in October, yeah.
Wow. He's in the same position I was. I was at Cambridge United at 21, and he's at Man United. Very similar.
Here is Iheanacho, 10 yards inside the Manchester United half. Maddison tackled by Baye. Some of Baye's tackles have been on the fringes of the laws, but he's waved play on this occasion, which I think indicates the referee says, look, it was a foul, but I'm going to allow play continue because Leicester still have the ball. They don't have it for long, and Darmian is able to clear away. Up towards Rashford, tries to control the ball, under pressure from Harry Maguire, and Maguire is not happy with the assistant there. He's bellowing in his face because the referee's assistant says throw it to Manchester United, and Maguire thought it should have been the other way around.
Yes, just on a little replay of that challenge on Maddison, and it looks like Baye's gone to ground, what we would call the scissor tackle. I've been accused of making that tackle many times myself, and received many yellow cards for it as well.
That's the voice of Dion Dublin, who's played for both of these clubs in the past. It's Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. We are in stoppages at the end of the first half. I didn't see the board go up. Play was in action at the time, but we are into stoppages being added on at the end of the first half at Old Trafford. Paul Pogba's penalty separates the teams. We'll be with Darren Fletcher in the studio during the break here, but it's been a high-tempo, high-octane opening 45 minutes of the new Premier League season, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Leicester. Really impressed with Leicester. A lot of sides that come here, doesn't matter what stage of the season, first game, last game, once they go one down, that is it. Leicester have gone the opposite way. Sleeves have been rolled up, socks have been pulled up, and they've said, listen, right, they've given us a bit of a scare. No more goals now, no more goals.
So Kasper Schmeichel, who's been beaten by that Pogba penalty, he's dealt well with everything else that's been thrown at him in this first half. And there is the whistle for the break. So Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. Leicester showed determination not to be blown away by a blistering start from Jose Mourinho's team. But it's an even game here, and Manchester United grateful for that early penalty that sends them down the tunnel in the corner here at Old Trafford in front. Dion.
Yeah, I'm going to give 15 minutes of that game to Man United, and I'll give the rest of it was very, very even. We've got a game on our hands here. It's 1-0 to Man United at half-time, but there's a lot more to come from Leicester in the second half if they can continue that pace.
Well, Pogba, Darren, has picked up where he left off. He scored in the World Cup final. He scored here on the season's opener for Manchester United. And at the break, at Old Trafford, Manchester United 1, Leicester 0.
Thank you, Connor. So 1-0 at half-time. Dion, stay with us for a minute or two. David Moyes alongside me as well in the studio. Bright start by Manchester United, Dion, but didn't Leicester do well to get themselves back in the game?
Yeah, I was impressed, Fletch. I really was impressed by the way they sort of stuck at it. They've gone toe-to-toe with Man United for the last 25 minutes of the first half. It was a great attitude. It's a sign of what the manager wants them to do. Kasper Schmeichel's gone off the pitch with no mud on his kit whatsoever. I think he's had one shot at him. I think that was from the penalty spot, and then there was a couple of bits and bobs as well. Not really been under any pressure at all, and I think that's down to Leicester's team spirit and resilience to think to themselves, we can still get something, and I believe they can, and it will come from a set piece.
Thank you, Dion. David, if you look at the numbers from the first half, 53% possession for Leicester City, 5 attempts on goal compared to 4 for Manchester United. They've completed more passes, they've had more corners. I mean, it was a start, but I mean, we were both impressed, weren't we, by the way that they got themselves back in it and for large periods of the first half dictated things.
I think so, and I think if I was the manager of Leicester City, I'd be walking in saying, give us more of the same in the second half and you'll get a goal from it. I thought Leicester
die when the world is calling you? Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll rot into smoke when the fire is fierce. Now pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world's calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it cost. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and defend defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to test our dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world's calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. When the world is calling out your name, I'm begging you to fight. Pick yourself up once more. Pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world's calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. And we'll chase the night, race all of these broken dreams in flight, and we'll fly. Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories, lost in time, racing all these broken dreams tonight, and we'll fly. I will fly.
Rashford going down the right-hand side. Sanchez just went behind Morgan and the ball was played in front of Morgan. Either or, if they had just matched up there, that would have been 2-0. Leicester have got to be careful not to give the ball away, because Man United will capitalise on it if you give them chances.
Luke Shaw on the ball on the left-hand side, comes in field of Ricardo Pereira. Nice touch in field again to Marcus Rashford. Now back out to the left of Manchester United to Paul Pogba. Rolls it back to the centre circle. And here is Eric Bailly, who had a few rash challenges in that first half. He flung himself into a few challenges. He got away with most of them. Here is Luke Shaw again on the left-hand side and short to the tightly cropped hair of Alexis Sanchez, who tried to return it with a little disguised ball to Luke Shaw, but the disguise wasn't fooling Ricardo Pereira, who is playing right wing for Leicester, but he's naturally a right back, so he's very much at home in making those interceptions. Here's the fullback on the other side, Ben Chilwell, tackled by Andres Pereira. Free kick. Oh, I thought it was a free kick to Leicester. Even thought I heard a whistle there, but obviously not. And the ball is played cross field from left to right, and now Amartey can come forward on the right-hand side. Leicester trying to build on that tempo they were rousing ahead of half-time. 1-0 to Manchester United here at Old Trafford. Manchester United with the red shirts, black shorts, red and black socks, playing from right to left as we look down and attacking the Stretford end in this second half, which United like to do. Ndidi makes a good challenge on Fred. Maddison is there to pick up the pieces. Leicester have shown they're well able to get stuck in when they need to physically, particularly with Amartey and Ndidi. So Leicester give it out to the far side, and Chilwell controls at his chest. Darmian tries to get close. Leicester give it infield to James Maddison, who skips away from Andres Pereira. He's now bearing down on the penalty area, but Fred, that's what he's in the team to do, wins it back, plays a 1-2 with Mata, and sets Manchester United in motion. Mata up to Rashford on the halfway line. Chilwell sprinting to try and stay goal side of him. Look at the enthusiasm of Rashford. Plays it miles ahead of himself. Runs again. Gets there at the byline. And Damari Gray tackles him. What a full-blooded tackle that is. Rashford ends up crashing into the advertising board, but there's nothing nasty about that. That's just a full-blooded run and a full-blooded tackle.
Yeah, it was a great run from Rashford. He must have knocked the ball 20 yards past Demarai Gray when he was 5 yards behind Demarai Gray. Gets past him, but Demarai Gray sticks to his guns and gets a great challenge in.
Demarai Gray is fast. Anyone else, Rashford was around him there. Here comes the corner, played in by Mata from the far side. Easy pickings for Kasper Schmeichel, whose father, of course, played here for so many years. And that's Stretford End. I was chatting to two Danish fans outside, Danish Manchester United fans on the way into Old Trafford. I said, was there any mixed feelings watching Schmeichel today? They said, no, he's the opponent today. We love him in the World Cup. We're here for Manchester United today.
And they are correct.
Here is Adrian Silva, a little late nudge by Fred. Now Maguire will bring it over the halfway line for Leicester. To Demarai Gray, Manchester United must fall back into a more defensive position. If it wasn't for the, and of course, hindsight is everything, and the fact the penalty was scored, but if it wasn't for that early penalty, I think we'd all be saying that Leicester were doing really well here and might have a chance of taking the lead had it been 0-0. As it is, they're searching for an equaliser. Iheanacho shoots, comes off the heel of a defender. Gray tries to get onto it. Maddison battles well in the box. Manchester United really should have cleared that away. Ricardo Pereira pings it in, and then it's cleared away by Eric Bailly, who needed 2 bites of the cherry, but he puts a big boot on it and returns possession to Leicester.
Yeah, he does his job. He looks quite uncomfortable there, the way he's cleared the ball out. He more or less, the first header was his, but it went up in the air and came back down to him again, and he cleared it with his shin.
Hang on, poor clearance by Wes Morgan. Alexis Sanchez thought he might have a run, and maybe wisely Daniel Amartey pulled the arm of Alexis Sanchez. He'll give away the free kick. He'll take a yellow card for his team, but I think he thought there was going to be a lot of danger there if Alexis Sanchez was allowed to continue the run.
There was going to be a lot of danger. That's Wes Morgan there, trying to do something which, he will hold his hand up and say he's not very good at, playing out from the back. Wes Morgan's a defender, and he defends well. Leave the playing out to the back for Harry Maguire, Wes.
Wes Morgan, who'll be 35 in January. Leicester have signed Johnny Evans, who's on the bench, might come on against his old team before the end of the game tonight, but I wonder if it's going to be Maguire and Evans as the first choice pairing, or does Morgan still have that status as captain? Here come Manchester United. Alexis Sanchez, Rashford, there's a flag, he's offside. He can't shoot anyway because Harry Maguire did very well to get back goal side and snuff out any danger. Rashford turns and gives a look to the assistant and says, are you serious? But he is. Free kick.
I'm not sure that Rashford should have been offside. No, you can see right down the line, he's actually facing the Leicester City goal. He can see Maguire, he can see the fullback as well. Chilwell should have stayed on, so I went a little bit early.
Mata on the far side was in between the assistant's view line, and I think that convinced him to raise the flag and say it was offside. Jose Mourinho close up of him on the monitor there, and he just turned away. He knows a second goal could be crucial here, that extra little cushion, and Manchester United can calm down and go back to playing some of the fancy football in the first half. But the moment they're in a battle, they lead 1-0. Pogba's penalty. Leicester playing well, however. Maddison pushed off the ball by Fred, and that will be a free kick to Leicester midway inside their own half. And the referee wants to have a word with Fred here, who we didn't spot it at the time, Dean, but we saw at half-time an action replay where he kicked out, I think at Amartey, when he was on the ground, kind of like that David Beckham in the World Cup in '98. Yes. He's on the ground, a bit petulant, he kicks out, and he does connect with the opponent, but it's not spotted by the referee.
Yeah, it was a second or two away from where the ball was, and the referee must have turned his back on it, but just a little bit of petulance. They're the ones that can get you a yellow card and get you in trouble.
Fred is making his Manchester United competitive debut tonight. He's in the middle of midfield, a role where Fellaini has played, McTominay has played recently, Ander Herrera has played, but he hopes to make it his own as he plays the ball on bravely there. He knew he was going to get crunched, but he played it on to Pogba anyway, and Pogba to Mata, and now to Alexis Sanchez, and Manchester United lightning fast on the attack. Alexis Sanchez pins it in, but out comes Schmeichel and gets there ahead of Rashford.
Let me let you into a secret. Fred caught Maddison, so Maddison's had a little bit of a have that one as well, Fred. You can't come into this league and start dishing it out without taking some back. Maddison, there you go, look, referee seen it.
James Maddison.
Is he seen it, the referee?
21 years of age. He shows a yellow card to Fred. And now he comes back to Maddison. And what's he doing? I think he's going to book him. He's certainly riding in his elbow. No, he showed it to Fred. It's not quite clear. Has it been shown to Maddison? It might just be a telling off to Maddison, you know. But the former Norwich City player who's shown that he's willing to put himself about in the Premier League, and as Dion illustrated there, having been on the receiving end of a challenge from Fred, Maddison said, yeah, I'm just going to let you know that if you do that to me, I'm going to do it back to you. Oh, he did, a little trip. Yeah, we've just seen it in our action replay.
It was a little sort of schoolboy trip. It wasn't a kick out at all. It was a just making him look stupid, but letting him know he's there as well. But nice little battle, that one, Fred and Maddison. It's good to see Maddison as well, you know, in the Premier League, showing people how good he is, being very confident on the ball. Look at him, he's pointing and telling Iheanacho where to go.
We've got all options covered tonight on 5 Live. We've got former Manchester United player Dion Dublin with us. We've also got former Leicester player Dion Dublin with us, watching this game for the commentary as Darmian comes over the halfway line. We've played 10 minutes now in the second half. Fred, number 17 on his back, plays it to Lindelof. Lindelof and Bailly, the preferred partnership for Manchester United in what is viewed as being the problem position in the team, the central defensive location. They've both looked okay so far. Lindelof, particularly in the first half, needing muscle to hold off Iheanacho, and he did very well at the time. As a long ball is played forward by De Gea, one in the air by Amartey. Pogba swaggers over and gets it under his control. Very good from Pogba. On to Alexis Sanchez, who plays a 1-2 with Juan Mata, and then he brings Darmian into it, up from right back. Darmian bearing down to the penalty area, steadies and shoots, and Schmeichel had to parry it away initially and then was able to gather it before it spilled for a corner.
Yeah, it does enough there. Really does enough. Schmeichel makes sure the ball's in no danger at all going into his goal. Takes 2 attempts to get it under control, but Sanchez there just playing what we call around the corner ball outside of his right boot, and then getting it back and playing it out to the right wing, wanting to make his mark. I can see that Sanchez is going through the gears in regards his work rate. There you go, running it back again. That's what he does.
Alexis Sanchez working hard for Manchester United, but not winning the ball as Amartey comes over the halfway line on the right hand side for Leicester. Tried to get it up to Damari Gray. Lindelof lunged in well, and Andreas Pereira clears the ball away. Leicester get it back on the halfway line. Ndidi to Maddison, who stretched and couldn't trap it. Luke Shaw regains possession for Manchester United. Infield to Lindelof, and from the edge of the penalty area, he rolls it back to David De Gea. Oh, David De Gea tried to be Claudio Bravo there. He tried to do an outfield player's pass to dink it over Maddison, and he overstruck it, and it went out for a throw into Leicester. An attacking throw, which they take quickly. And Ndidi shifts it over to the far side. Chilwell for Leicester now, midway inside the Manchester United half. Darmian gets close to him, holds up Chilwell, forces him backwards to retreat. Chilwell manages to turn, and Leicester come forward once again. But the interception this time is by Mata. Manchester United can't get a grip of it. Ndidi to Andre Silva. And now Harry Maguire, 10 yards into the Manchester United half, attacking the end where the Leicester City fans are housed away to our right. This is 5 Live from the BBC, opening night of the new Premier League season. Ndidi to Amartey, more hard running from Alexis Sanchez. He's doing a high press whenever the ball is over this near touch line, but he can't get the ball. Ndidi tries the nutmeg on Shaw. It does go through Shaw's leg, but Shaw's able to turn and get it under his control. Manchester United try to play their way out of trouble. Ricardo Pereira lunges in. No messing from Lindelof as he hoofs it forward, and it's controlled on the chest by Harry Maguire, who comes slaloming through the midfield, but then he loses it. Maguire's out of position, ball over the top. Rashford is after it. Morgan trying to stay goal side. Amartey is there to offer some support. This is a chance for Manchester United. Alexis Sanchez with a terrible cross, though. He had Mata, who had made a surging run, and really Alexis Sanchez had to do better with that as Andre Silva gives it away. Pogba, Alexis Sanchez, too intricate as he tries to pick Mata, and Leicester get it away. But what a game, Dion Dublin.
We have got a game on our hands, and you know what? He said terrible ball from Sanchez. I've got to have to disagree. He goes to play the ball into Mata. Mata is the ball side. Then Mata goes in behind. I'm not quite sure if Sanchez seen his second movement. His first movement was exactly where Sanchez put the ball, in front of Morgan, or should I say in front of Chilwell, and then Mata decides to go behind. So cross wires there, but could have been dangerous.
Now, this game's about to liven up, and a few substitutes we'll tell you in a moment. Chilwell crosses, punched by De Gea on the edge of the 6-yard box. Cushion header by Pogba down for Fred, and he sets Mata in motion on the right-hand side. Manchester United have been able to turn defence into attack a lot better tonight than the majority of last season. I think a lot of it is to do with Fred. Here's Alexis Sanchez, plays it into the penalty area, and again he can't pick out Mata, and it comfortably runs through for Kasper Schmeichel. But the news of the substitutes. First of all, Jamie Vardy is about to come on for Leicester, and their other change is going to be the new signing from Monaco, Rachid Ghezal, the Algerian winger, who they hope will be the replacement for the irreplaceable. He's going to be the new Riyad Mahrez. It's a tall order.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Good luck. He's the right winger that they've signed this summer, having played for Lyon and Monaco in the past, and a bit of a live wire. Didn't play all that much for Monaco last season, but he's in the Mahrez mould. So here comes a Marty down the right-hand side. Those changes haven't been made yet. The players are waiting for the ball to go dead. Iheanacho back to Ndidi. Now Maddison, heavy first touch. He knew Fred was nearby, and I think that forced the heavy touch. We've played an hour now at Old Trafford. Morgan gets up and beats Rashford in the air. You're just joining our coverage here. Pogba scored very early, penalty inside 3 minutes, after a handball by Amartey in the box. Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0 on 5 Live. Tomorrow we will bring you Newcastle against Tottenham at lunchtime, and we'll bring you Fulham against Crystal Palace at 3 o'clock. On Sunday we've got Arsenal against Manchester City. 144 live commentaries on 5 Live this season. That's more than any other UK broadcaster. Here is Lindelof on the back for Manchester United, helped out by Andres Pereira, who had a good pre-season and has been playing the anchor role in midfield. It's a noisy Old Trafford here tonight. Manchester United, you feel, need another goal here to feel safe. At the moment, it's a perilous 1-0 lead they hold. Pogba jumps with Amartey. Neither of them get a clean touch, and Ricardo Pereira is able to clear it away, but he's giving possession back to Manchester United. Andres Pereira. Both teams with a Pereira tonight. Ricardo for Leicester, Andres for Manchester United. And it is Andres Pereira who plays a very nice crossfield ball.
That's a beautiful ball. Beautiful ball with the laces, crossfield, changing the point of attack.
Out to Darmian, who's got Mata with him in close support. Still Ghezal and Vardy prepared to come on. This is Pogba, 15 yards outside the Leicester penalty area. He's done a nutmeg there with Ricardo Pereira. He'll enjoy that ball, Pogba. He's got the swagger about him, the sort of limp wrists as he runs, and tries to play it forward to Fred, but it's cut out by Ndidi. Now, ball over the top. Iheanacho's after this. Chance for Leicester. Bailly, excellent tackle. He needed to be strong and sure, and Eric Bailly was in the penalty area. That was a big chance.
Of all the times you would want Eric Bailly to stay on his feet, don't go for the scissor tackle, don't jump in. He stayed on his feet and defended perfectly.
Down the other end, Alexis Sanchez breaks free of Amartey, tries to cross for Rashford, but there's plenty of defenders back there and able to clear it away. Manchester United come again. It's been an action-packed game. There's not been a slow period throughout the contest. We've played 62 minutes now. Andres Pereira plays it forward, headed down by Ndidi, flicked away and then helped on further by Andre Silva. Mata's working hard in the midfield for Manchester United, and he's found some space for Sanchez. Oh, Sanchez unable to control. It was played at him a fair old pace, but I think Alexis Sanchez was thinking 2 moves ahead before he actually controlled the ball. So let's see the changes. Rachid Ghezal will come on, and he will take the place of Amartey. So I would assume Ricardo Pereira will move to right back, and Ghezal will come on and play on the right wing. And the other Leicester change, see James Maddison, the playmaker, the new signing from Norwich, make way, and it'll be 2 up top. Iheanacho joined by Vardy.
Yeah, and you know what, I think he had to make that change. There has been times when Leicester have broke quickly. Man United have kept a high line knowing that Vardy's on the bench. I can pretty much guarantee right now that Man United won't be holding a high line, or as high as they've been holding, because Jamie Vardy will find that space in behind. You watch Eric Bailly now, just
step back.
He's just talking to Lindelof as if to say, listen, Vardy's on, we might have to change the way we play.
Here is Mata in possession for Manchester United. 1-0 they lead against Leicester in this Premier League opener. Shaw on the left-hand side. Manchester United attacking the Stretford end. Mata involved again. He's had a good last 5-10 minutes. He tries to deliver the cross into the middle. It's repelled as far as Pogba. Then Maguire, he knew what was going on. He knew Rashford was behind him, but he knew he was offside. He didn't panic at all. He left it float over his head, knowing Schmeichel would come for the ball. And Manchester United's defence all retreat. As soon as Leicester get the ball there, they run back towards the edge of their own penalty area. They are leaving no space for Vardy to run into. But this will stretch the game. And Pogba picks out Alexis Sanchez. He's got Morgan in front of him. He now pulls it back to Mata. Puts it wide. 15 yards out. Low shot from Mata. He's appealing and claiming it was deflected for a corner. Well, the referee says no, it was wide. It's a goal kick. That was a glorious opportunity.
Yeah, it was a great chance. It was a great ball from Pogba as well, because it's what we call one run for the defender, one run for yourself. Sanchez actually got by Pereira. Just laid it across the 18-yard line.
I think it does deflect off the defender.
It deflects off an arm of the defender there. I'm not sure who's diving in.
Morgan.
Was it Morgan that was diving in? Juan Mata, with his textbook finish, he likes to just side foot it to his left. Keeper's right on the floor. Just didn't get it right that time, but Man United, what a quick break that was.
Yeah, that should have been a corner. It strikes the arm of Morgan. It's not a penalty. He's sliding in to block the shot. It's not an intentional handball, but it comes off his elbow area, and that should have been a corner to Manchester United. They lead 1-0. 25 minutes to go. And Manchester United, having seen the opponents bring on a number 9, they're about to bring on a number 9 of their own. It'll be a big welcome back to Old Trafford for Romelu Lukaku after his performance at the World Cup for Belgium, and Manchester United fans wanting to see more of that from him now in a Manchester United shirt. Here comes Ricardo Pereira down the right-hand side for Leicester. Luke Shaw's in a good tiny game, makes the interception and feeds it up the field to Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, he's not set the world alight, Luke Shaw, but he's done his job really well. He looks a lot fitter, he looks a lot leaner. It looks like he's defending first before wanting to get forward. Not many crosses have come in from the right-hand side for Leicester. Luke Shaw has stopped the source into the box. So, yeah, nice welcome back for Luke Shaw. Now, and here comes the big man.
Yeah, so whereas Leicester brought on Vardy to play alongside Iheanacho, Jose Mourinho is going to take off a striker to bring one on. So Rashford will make way. And on comes Romelu Lukaku, the scorer of 27 goals for Manchester United in his debut season. Here he comes on for his first appearance now of the new campaign.
Yeah, I don't think Morgan and Maguire would want to see a player of that quality coming on with this long to go in the game.
Yeah, Wes Morgan is going to have to roll up his sleeves now. But between them, Morgan, Maguire, Lukaku, that is when an immovable object meets whatever the expression
There's
is.
some power there.
Yeah, absolutely. Immovable force and an immovable object. As Ricardo Pereira wins the ball initially for Leicester. They're going to give it away here. Pogba sniffing around. Iheanacho's done well. Gray should control. Darmian lunges in. It's such an open game. Here comes Demarai Gray over the halfway line. Darmian tried desperately to get back in goal side of him. Gray on a spirally run. He comes infield. He started that in the left fullback position. He ends up on the right wing, and he brings his teammate here into it, and a chance to get into the penalty area for Ghezal. There's no real end product on it. Lindelof is able to clear away. Pogba controls left full-back position. Leicester fans claim he handled it, and then that is a push surely. Ricardo Pereira pushes Alexis Sanchez, and that's just what Alexis Sanchez wants there. That relieves the pressure. Free kick to Manchester United, who still lead 1-0.
Yeah, Leicester have got Man United just where they want them. Pogba's facing his own goal. Is in the right back spot. He's about 10 yards away from the corner flag, and he gets away with one through the legs of the new signing who's just come on. And then Sanchez receives the ball, and I don't know why Pereira brings him down. It takes all the pressure off Man United. They get to go forward, and De Gea gets to bring the ball out nice and safe.
We have a quarter of this game remaining. We've just passed 67.5 minutes. Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. Paul Pogba's very early goal. Down to the technical area. Jose Mourinho's been standing for most of the game. Behind him sitting is Michael Carrick. Remember, Mourinho's longtime assistant Rui Faria has left. He's worked with Mourinho for 17 years. He was right back, since the days back in Portugal. He's gone off to become a manager in his own right, and Michael Carrick hasn't been named assistant. I don't think he doesn't have an official assistant manager now, Mourinho. He says no one's worthy of that title yet. They've got to earn it. He's just got coaches working underneath. How very Mourinho.
I think he is the manager and the assistant and the first team coach. Thank you very much.
Assistant to the assistant manager, as they say in the office. Here is Ghezal, still trying to get to pace with the game, having come on as a substitute for his debut for Leicester. And then there's a crunching foul on the halfway line, and that's a free kick. Oh, a yellow card is going to be shown to Pereira as well. Andres Pereira goes in the book.
That was an interesting one, that was. A very interesting one, because Andreas Pereira for Manchester United, he was 60-40 to win that tackle, but he seemed to slow himself down and make sure he made contact. And, yeah, it was a little bit naughty. His studs were showing. As you can see there, he just goes over the top of the ball slightly, goes down on that one. Bit high on Silva as well, I think, to be honest with you. Didn't need to do that at all.
He's stretching. He almost stamps down on the ball. And he's actually a little bit unfortunate. I think his boot sort of hits the ball and actually bounces up a bit, which makes it look worse than maybe it was intended to be. But you can fully see why the referee thought that was worthy of yellow card with the studs showing.
It was like his lower leg or ankle was on top of the ball, therefore bouncing off it and getting a bit of connection on Silva there. So yeah, he's limped off Silva. He'll be fine.
Just a reminder, coming up tomorrow, Newcastle against Tottenham is the lunchtime game on 5 Live. We'll bring you Fulham against Crystal Palace at 3. There's a new Monday morning edition, by the way, of the 5 Live Football Daily podcast to review the weekend's action. If you subscribe to the 5 Live Football Daily, that'll be in your app and ready for you every Monday morning in time for the commute to work. Playback underway here at Old Trafford, and we're into the last 20 minutes now. And imagine for Jose Mourinho, he's looking at the clock and he's thinking, it's moving slowly, this clock. This second half isn't zipping along as fast. I mean, I think he would take 1-0 and say thank you very much and leave Old Trafford now very happy. But he's team up to battle for 20 minutes to ensure that happens.
I think it's down to concentration now, Conor. I think Man United have got the lead. It's now down to game management. It's now down to Paul Pogba, the captain. Luke Shaw, who's been in long enough now. Sanchez, who's an absolute world-class player. Romelu Lukaku, the seniors matter. Make sure they don't give chances away. Manage the game in the right way, and we'll get away with a nice 1-0 win, start of the season. It will go under the radar because it was only 1 goal, but that'd be a really good result for them.
I mentioned Michael Carrick sitting behind Jose Mourinho. Kieran McKenna, who has done very well as the youth coach for Manchester United. He was originally with Tottenham's coaching staff. He's now also on that sort of tier with Michael Carrick as a coach. Silvino Loro is also at that level, so he's got a whole battalion of coaches under him. No one's the standout assistant for Jose Mourinho this season, as Ricardo Pereira plays it in field for Leicester. They're going to lose it here. Fred, that's what he's in the team to do. Battles with Iheanacho, wins the ball for his team, and Mata sprays it over the top, controlled to the chest by Alexis Sanchez. Lukaku, who's waiting for his first chance, it's coming on, will have to wait longer because the pass from Alexis Sanchez doesn't get through to him. But you could see, Dion, that Lukaku was getting himself into position there. He was finding room in the penalty area as Demarai Gray comes down the other end. Heavy touch, and that'll be easily mopped up by Eric Bailly.
Yeah, there'll be a little bit more space now for Demarai Gray to run into, because the back four of Manchester United are just being pegged back a little bit now because Jamie Vardy's on, so there'll be a bit more space in order for the wingers of Leicester to take their individual fullbacks on.
Manchester United 1, Leicester City 0. The goal a long time ago now. The penalty awarded within 90 seconds of the start of this game and scored by Paul Pogba. Leicester plugging away for an equaliser. They've not had many opportunities. Let's see if Gray can create something here. Plays it into the penalty area. Luke Shaw's header's a little soft, but Pogba gets there anyway. Manages to come away with the ball up towards the halfway line, and then Ricardo Pereira tackles him bang on the halfway line, and Jose Mourinho applauds the endeavour of Paul Pogba. It's going to be interesting to hear Mourinho's comments in the the post-match press conference, how he reacts to this. I mean, obviously the scoreline is going to be paramount to it, but if they get the 1-0 win, he's got to be happy, but he's not going to be overjoyed.
No, he won't. He'll be happy that if they do get the 1-0 win, it'll be down to the organisation and the concentration of the team, and like I've just said, the players in the team that have to take charge on the pitch, he'll be happy with that. If they go 2 or they go 3, which I can't see at the moment, it'll be convincing.
Is there a way back into this for Leicester? We've still got 17 minutes plus the stoppages. Ben Chilwell is asking an awful lot here of Demarai Gray, asking too much. Darmian's able to intercept. That wasn't a good pass. So Manchester United will come again. Here is Mata, 20 yards inside his own half. Plays it to Pogba in the centre circle. Difficult one to control. Pogba does well to get it onto Luke Shaw. That's not a good ball. Behind Mata. And now plenty United players had surged forward there. That might leave a gap if Ghezal can get onto this, but he can't. He seemed a little bit one pace there as he went in pursuit. Rachid Ghezal on his Leicester debut. And Luke Shaw is mightily relieved that Leicester don't profit from his mistake.
Yeah, Ghezal there not looking the sharpest. I know the ball wasn't great either. Should have been put a little bit further in front of him into an area he could have got onto it. But yeah, it was a bit of a strange one, that, because Man United committed players forward, at least 4 or 5, and it was a great chance for Leicester to get a break on, but they chose the wrong ball. And Ghezal there just couldn't get on the end of it.
Here come Leicester, 1-0 down at Old Trafford. 5 live from the BBC. Adrian Silva out to the far side to Ben Chilwell. He's got Demarai Gray ahead of him, but he chooses to bring it back infield again to Andre Silva once more. Midway inside the Manchester United half. Plays it forward. Ghezal is in the penalty area. Cushion headed down for Ricardo Pereira. That's good. Now, here comes the cross. It's towards the back post. There's no one there for Leicester. And Darmian is able to clear away. Ricardo Pereira trying to keep the chance alive. He jumps on the edge of the penalty area. Then Ndidi jumps with Pogba. That's very brave from Ndidi. And he wins the ball. Ghezal will clear it, cross it in. And Bailly at the back post will head it away. But they've got to clear it. And Vardy with a fair shoulder charge on Shaw. Oh, should have been a goal. Demarai Gray with the instep, and it's saved by De Gea. Luke Shaw has not had a good last 2 minutes. He's out-muscled by Vardy there, and if Leicester had scored, Jose Mourinho would have been apoplectic at Luke Shaw.
Yeah, he's looking over. He's our side of the pitch at the moment, so he's dug outside at the moment, Luke Shaw, in the left-back spot, and he's shouting at the linesman as if to say, why didn't you give me that? I was nudged off the ball. He wasn't nudged off the ball. He got outwitted by Jamie Vardy, who worked hard to win the ball back. And then he put a great ball in the box for Gray, Andre Gray, that got across his defender. I think it might have been Lindelof he got across. What a save from David De Gea again.
Right, Manchester United going to make a change. Quarter of an hour to go. 1-0 they lead. And Fred, the Brazilian debutant, will get a standing ovation at Old Trafford. I think he's done enough tonight to impress and to suggest there's more to come as well, but he looks like he's going to settle into the Premier League very well.
Yeah, he looked comfortable. Broke the game up, did all the ugly jobs, worked really hard, gave it to other players that are more forward thinking, so well done to him.
Scott McTominay comes on as the replacement for Fred for this final quarter of an hour now. Manchester United with a 1-0 lead. Haven't looked like building on it all that much in this second half, and they've got to be careful that Leicester don't nick an equaliser. Here is Andre Silva, cut out by Andres Pereira in the midfield, and then Gray will shoot again. He was off balance as he struck it, and it careers ugly, high and wide.
Well, you can just see that little bit of space that's being created now. Andre Gray there being able to, Demarai Gray, sorry, being able to run 15, maybe 20 yards into an area to shoot on Manchester United's goal, because Jamie Vardy's making those little runs and the defenders are having to think, where's Jamie Vardy going, where's he going, in case there's a through ball which leaves an area just outside the box for Leicester to get shots off.
Leicester took points off Manchester United last season. There was a 2-2 draw at the King Power Stadium, a game that Leicester finished with 10 men. Both teams with a full complement of 11 on the pitch here now, late on at Old Trafford, as Maguire makes a good interception on the edge of the Leicester penalty area after a cross from Alexis Sanchez. But Manchester United win it back again in midfield. Vardy, full of energy, having come on as a late sub here. Ball cleared long by Lindelof. Alexis Sanchez putting pressure on Morgan here. Sanchez gets it. Lukaku must be saved miraculously by Kasper Schmeichel. He got his body down low. It hit the keeper, hit the ground, and bounced up over the crossbar.
I'm just waiting for the net to nestle. I'm thinking one-on-one, 8 yards out, Lukaku and Schmeichel. I think it actually went. I think it was on its way past Schmeichel, but he spreads himself so big, but he just got enough on it and it just went over the bar. What a fantastic save.
Lukaku struck it low. Schmeichel managed to get an ankle or a foot or something to it as McTominay from the resultant corner tries to get up high to win a header, but he's unable to do so, and Leicester will clear it away. Well, that could have been it. Second goal for Manchester United with 12 minutes to go. That would have been all over. But as it is, it's 1-0 to Jose Mourinho's team. And this ain't done yet as Chilwell gets there ahead of Lukaku, who's been full of hard running since coming on. But on this occasion, he's fouled Ben Chilwell, and that will be a free kick to Leicester. In this game, we have seen 3 excellent saves out. De Gea in the first half, De Gea the second half to deny Demarai Gray, and then one-on-one Schmeichel denying Lukaku.
Yeah. If you could look out on this field now, Conor, and you could pick one player for Manchester United who you'd want in a one-on-one, having seen him play at the World Cup so much, Lukaku would have been that man. The net should have been bustling, but it wasn't.
Leicester going to make another change. Andre Silva will come off, and on comes the Spaniard Vicente Iborra.
Demoted Silva got hold of the ball, took him a while to get into the game, a good 5-10 minutes to get into the game, but when he got the ball, used it well, kept Leicester moving forward. When he received the ball, always looking forward first to try and get Leicester on the attack. Iborra, what have you got, pal? Big shoes to fill after that game.
Into the last 10 minutes of the opening game of the new Premier League season. Wes Morgan was mightily relieved that Kasper Schmeichel made that save one-on-one. He had been turned inside out, absolute twisted blood by Alexis Sanchez in the build-up. Now here is Gazelle, who's coming to grips with the pace of the Premier League, playing on the right wing for Leicester, what they hope could be the replacement for Riyad Mahrez, who's got to Manchester City. Here is Harry Maguire. Low ball to Demarai Gray, whose influence is growing in the game. Chilwell on the left-hand side, sends it across too high for Vardy. Shaw, for a moment, looked nervous because he made the decision he was going to allow that. He wasn't going to challenge for it, and then he thought, oh, I hope I'm doing the right thing here. And in the end, he was.
You know, sometimes when you're in that position, Shaw was at the far post when the ball came in from the left-hand side from Chilwell. Now, you're the last person, and the first thing you're thinking is, do I touch it? And if I don't touch it, is there somebody coming in from behind me who's going to just nick it? He got away with it that time. His shoulders weren't quite right. He should be able to see the player and the man. Got away with it.
Jose Mourinho is preparing a final substitute. He's got Marouane Fellaini stripped off and ready to go. He's bellowing instructions, Mourinho, at Luke Shaw here, who plays a 1-2 with Alexis Sanchez, though he can't get onto the second leg of it. Morgan will mop up and roll it back to Kasper Schmeichel. So as things stand, Manchester United are heading for an opening win at the start of this Premier League campaign. Jose Mourinho, who's never lost his opening match of a Premier League season since coming to England. Alexis Sanchez fouled by Ricardo Pereira, and there's big cheers. I think there's laced with irony the cheers. Manchester United fans sarcastically cheering that they've been given a free kick. They feel that's been due.
Yeah. There's been a few challenges on Sanchez that they've thought should have been free kicks. They weren't free kicks, and this time, yeah, he gets one off Pereira. You know what? I've been very impressed with Andreas Pereira tonight. Very accomplished performance so far, getting the ball down on his chest and wanting his 2 defenders to give him the ball so he can start the move off.
Still young, Andreas Pereira. 22 years of age, although he'd been on the books for several seasons, out on loan at Valencia last year. Here is Mata for Manchester United on the right-hand side. Juan Mata plays it a left-footed cross. Wes Morgan, commanding central defensive header. He got the full forehead on that. He got it way outside the penalty area, but Pogba, beginning to show more swagger, picks it up. Successions of weaves and swerves, gets away from Iborra, and Pogba gets it back again from Mata, and he tries to return the favour. Fancy footwork from Pogba. Must have been tripped. Referee waves play on because Mata still got possession. Now McTominay. Can Manchester United get the second goal to seal it? Mata steadies himself, looks up. Here comes Luke Shaw. Not a great first touch. Great second touch! Oh, brilliant from Shaw! It's his first ever senior goal! Luke Shaw makes it 2-0 to Manchester United, and that will be that with 7 minutes to play. Manchester United 2, Leicester City 0. That's something we've not seen before. A Luke Shaw goal!
I'm so pleased for Luke Shaw. He's had a little rocky 5 minutes, even 10 minutes end of the first half, start the second half. Hasn't looked that confident, playing left back in front of the manager, right in front of the dugouts, and he's got himself forward there. Just a bit of dominance there. I'm watching the replay, a bit of dominance from Pogba. Like you say, Conor, a bit of swagger as well. And then a lovely ball from Mata, a little crossfield ball from Mata. Splits the defence. Luke Shaw's touch gets away with his touch. It wasn't what he wanted to do. But Luke Shaw reaching and put it down low to Kasper Schmeichel's left on the angle. Well done, well done.
He had a chance in the first half, but we giggled a bit at it because it was a right foot opportunity. This one on his left. Mourinho is pumping the air with his fists, and Manchester United are heading for 3 points to start their campaign on a high. Leicester have played well here tonight at Old Trafford, but they are coming up short. Pogba has been replaced by Fellaini for the closing minutes.
Yeah, he's Luke Shaw. Just see Mr. Mourinho there, just pumping his fist towards Luke Shaw, both fists in front of him, as if to say, well done, son.
Demarai Gray in the penalty area. Vardy tries to cross it. Lindelof with the header away. So the goals. Pogba from the penalty spot. Luke Shaw with a stretching drive low beyond the goalkeeper. Manchester United 2, Leicester City 0. And after a tumultuous summer, so many images of press conferences with a grumpy Jose Mourinho, well, he's got a win when it really counted. Friendlies are over. It's into the competitive stuff. And Manchester United set to start with a win. Here is Lukaku, halfway line. Just takes his eye off it for a moment. Iheanacho tries to win it back, but then Fellaini is strong in support. But offside flag is raised on the far side.
It's got to take you back about 30 seconds, Connor. Tumultuous. What a great word that is, by the way. I've always tried to get that into my commentary. Never know where to use it, and now I know. Thank you very much, sir.
You're more than welcome. Here comes Chilwell down the left-hand side for Leicester. A cross that is not tumultuous. It flies over everyone. It goes out for the throw-in.
You're too much. You're too much. Does this flatter Man United 2-0? In the end, possibly not.
No.
But it's not a 2-0 loss, or should I say not a 2-0 performance losing for Leicester, is it? Because they've played well tonight, Leicester.
Leicester have done well tonight. Crucially, they didn't take their chances. Demarai Gray was the really big one. Yes. Vardy setting up Demarai Gray. At that stage, make it 1-1, then who knows. But they didn't score that one, and Manchester United could come down the other end and make it 2, as Mata here tries to pick out Lukaku. Lukaku a bit late into Maguire there, but I think a lot of credit to Harry Maguire, who's made it tough stuff, and he makes nothing of that. He just goes, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's not his way, going down and pretending he's injured when he's not. Pretending he's played well tonight. Juan Mata seems to have gone under the radar because he's a regular for Man United when it comes to, he's been here a while now, he's not the big superstar signing, but what a player. He's picked out the right pass at the right time. He's gone forward when he needs to, he's gone back when he needs to. A very, very good player.
De Gea with a terrible clearance. Ghezal is going to try and make the most of this. It was a kick from the ground from David De Gea that should have been routine, and he completely scuffed it. He was fortunate that Lindelof was close to Ghezal, and there's no shot at the end of it for Leicester, who want a corner and they're not going to get it, and it's a goal kick. And the tide is firmly in favour of Manchester United now. All those little 50-50 decisions going their way.
Yeah, a bit of pressure off Man United there. It's all about, they're 2-0 up now. It's just about seeing it through. Don't give Leicester, don't leave the door ajar for Leicester. What I mean by that is, keep this at 2-0. If you're Man United and you're a player out there, keep it at 2-0. Do not give them any chances at all. Make sure that door is firmly slammed shut and it stays at 2-0.
Pogba and Luke Shaw, the goal scorers. I mean, one of them you'd have believed, the other I'm not quite so sure. Manchester United 2, Leicester 0. See the goals tomorrow night, match of the day, back at 10:20 on BBC One. Chappers will have match of the day 2 on Sunday. That's a 10:30 start, 11:30 I believe in Northern Ireland. And with the Premier League starting today, the FA Cup, would you believe, starts tomorrow. The early round of the FA Cup, the extra preliminary round, starts tomorrow. And the BBC is going to broadcast one game from every round, starting right at the very start. So 12:30 tomorrow on the iPlayer, on the BBC Sport app and website. We've got Haverhill Rovers against Haverhill Borough. It's the big local derby in that one, as they try to they'd have to win about 6 games just to get to the first round of the FA Cup. That's how many preliminary rounds they are, but we're going right to the start. That's tomorrow, 12:30 on BBC Sport. Here at Old Trafford, closing stages of the opening Premier League game of the season. Mata crosses on the right-hand side, too high for Lukaku. The way Lukaku turned there suggests he thought he had a teammate behind him. He didn't, and it goes out for a goal kick to Leicester. It's Manchester United 2, Leicester 0.
Yeah, fantastic crossfield ball from Sanchez, taken in his stride by Juan Mata on his left foot. And then he's got to think to himself, where does Lukaku want it? Morgan's back. Abora made his way back from midfield as well, so he wasn't quite sure. In front of the defender, behind the defender, between the defenders. You've got to be in sync for that one to work.
Chilwell comes forward for Leicester. Their fans are still making noise away to the right-hand side. They appreciate their team is not losing here because of any lack of effort. They've put in a good shift. Manchester United have been the better team. Here comes Ndidi through the middle of the midfield, and Iheanacho shoots, comes off the body of Bailly, I think, and that took the sting out of it, and Manchester United were able to clear away. Vardy and Iheanacho finishing the game up front for Leicester. And Iheanacho is one of those players, he scores in pre-season friendlies, he always scores a bucket load in the League Cup every year. But I'm just wondering, is he going to ever make his mark in the Premier League, and is he going to ship Vardy out of the team? I mean, you just always think he's going to be the deputy to Jamie Vardy in terms of the striking roles at Leicester in the long term.
He's good enough to score goals, without a doubt. He's got the pedigree to score goals. He's just got to take those half chances that he often gets. He's got to take them this time, hit the back of the net. That'll give him a bit of confidence.
Leicester, who didn't finish last season very strongly, the last 5 of the last 7 games, had a few thumpings as well. Didn't Palace beat them 5-0, and I think Spurs beat them 5-4. But they'll feel that there's something to get excited about ahead of the first home game of the season. They host Wolves next weekend. As De Gea here clears away under pressure from Jamie Vardy as we move into the last 4 minutes now. 4 minutes of stoppage time being added on at Old Trafford. Manchester United leading Leicester by 2-0. Ndidi out to Chilwell, who's got a bit of room in a crossing position on the left-hand side. He's level with the edge of the penalty area. Sends it in, right-footed. Lindelof is underneath it. Comes down for Iheanacho. Wasn't a great header from Lindelof. Iheanacho's got it here in the penalty area. Back it goes to Ricardo Pereira. Vardy couldn't get his leg high enough. It was on the volley for Vardy, 8 yards out. He tried to get his leg up, but when he hit the ball, he's under it, and it spoons over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's one of those. You can see it all the way onto his foot. Has he got too much time to figure out, what do I do? Do I volley it? Do I head it? Oh, it's definitely a volley. He gets it all wrong. He's not... I'm watching the replay. It's right at sort of hip height, and he goes for the laces finish. Could have gone for a side foot finish. Could he have brought it down? When you get a chance at Manchester United at Old Trafford, you've got to go first time, because they come round very rarely.
Big chance. I think you give that chance 100 times to Jamie Vardy, he scores it 95 times.
Absolutely, yeah. He got it wrong. His timing was wrong. Maybe that's because he's not long been on the pitch, and he's not had to do that movement too many times yet this season.
So throw it to Manchester United. Goal scorer Luke Shaw for the first time in a Manchester United shirt. He never scored for Southampton either. Historic moment tonight for Shaw's career at Old Trafford as he scored a very good goal to make it 2-0. Leicester are plugging away here, but they're surely out of time. Chilwell infield to Iborra. Now Iheanacho lays it off to Ndidi in the midfield. 10 men back behind the ball for Manchester United. Just Lukaku forward. Ricardo Pereira on the right wing. Gets it onto his left boot. Swings it across. Shaves the post and headed in by Vardy. De Gea did not move. He thought it was going wide. When it hit the turf, there was a spin on it that saw the ball came back off the post. And Jamie Vardy is rewarded for his follow-up there to head it into the unguarded net. 2-1. Surely not enough time for an equaliser, but Leicester get one back.
What a bizarre goal. What a bizarre finish that was from Jamie Vardy. Sort of one of those crosses that in-swinger, and the keeper either touches it or he doesn't touch it. Sometimes they go in. It hit the post this time.
Luke Shaw
heads it in.
Makes a tackle. Look at Mourinho. He's like Antonio Conte. He's jumping around down there. He's lunging on his knees. He's suddenly a very interested spectator. This game, which appeared dead and buried, suddenly Leicester are back within a goal. Here is Damari Gray. It's 2-1 to Manchester United on 5 Live. Leicester attacking from left to right. You mentioned the first half, Ian, how full the stadium was. There's now so many empty seats. Many Manchester United fans left thinking this was all over. It's only got a minute to go. Fellaini tries to defend by the corner flag. He's under pressure from Ricardo Pereira. You're not going to shove Fellaini off the ball. Goal kick to Manchester United. They'll take their time over this.
Yeah, good defending from Fellaini there, doing the job that he's brought on to do. Take the pressure off, use your body, be horrible, make it hard for the opponents. But Jamie Vardy, that's just one of the most unique goals. When you see this goal on Match of the Day tomorrow night, what a great little finish.
So the story of the game, Paul Pogba's early penalty, giving Manchester United the lead inside 3 minutes. Luke Shaw made it 2-0. That was the 83rd minute. And then this late header from Jamie Vardy has just made it exciting to the end at Old Trafford tonight, as the ball is headed to Vardy by Hazard. Vardy leaves it for Damari Gray. He's into the penalty area, left-footed shot blocked away by Eric Bailly, and it's going to bounce out, I would imagine, for a corner. Yes, shepherded out for a corner. Leicester have no time left. We've played the 94 minutes, but they've got a corner, and Kasper Schmeichel is coming forward.
Here he comes.
If this was the World Cup, Dion, there would definitely be a late equaliser. That was happening every day of the World Cup.
Oh, yes.
This is the Premier League. Does the drama continue?
Look at this.
Kasper Schmeichel, on the ground where his father was a legend for so many years, is up in the penalty area. Chilwell is going to take the corner. Everyone's back defending it for Manchester United. This could be the last kick of the game. Floated in high. Schmeichel's header! He's down and wide. What a moment that could have been. It's the last touch of the game. Drama from start to finish. The Premier League is back with a bang, and Manchester United are back with a win. 2-1, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, what a great game to start the Premier League. Unbelievable drama, great football, great endeavour. Managed well in the end by Manchester United, but I've got to say, Leicester can walk away with their heads held high. They played some really good football. They had a really good go. Connor, if this is anything to go by, I'm looking forward to this season, sir.
Yeah, we are up and running, Darren. We've seen it all now. Even Luke Shaw getting in on the goals. But it's a satisfied Jose Mourinho who applauds the Manchester United fans as he makes his way towards the tunnel. It's an opening win for Manchester United. They've beaten Leicester City 2-1.
Connor, Dion, thank you very much. So Manchester United with the win, but David Moyes, they were hanging on at the end. I mean, they didn't half make hard work of it for themselves.
They did, but winning's everything, isn't it? And it was a great result for Manchester United. Winning the first game of the season is never easy for any team, but I've got to say they did make it hard work in the end, and I'm sure there was a few Man United supporters a bit worried in the last few minutes there.
Dion, what do you think the reaction's going to be from Claude Puel to that? Because yes, Manchester United get 3 points, but they scored late on. Jamie Vardy had just missed a glorious opportunity before that, and they had some really promising moments in the first half as well.
You know what, when you get chances at Old Trafford, you've got to hit the target at least. There was a couple of chances that they didn't even get their shot off and they missed the target. Few and far between those kind of chances. I think Leicester played well. Claude Puel right now, he's on the pitch, he's walking off the pitch, just going over the halfway line towards the tunnel. All the players have gone over to clap the Leicester fans. You know what, I think he'll go in and he'll say, listen, well played. You've actually shown Man United that you can play a bit and you're not weak, and you can stand toe-to-toe and you can nick a goal. I just think Leicester will be happy with the performance, unhappy with the result.
We were sat here watching it, David, weren't we, saying that when they had the kind of pressure and spell they had in the first half, that was where they really needed to score, Leicester.
Yeah, I thought Leicester played very well in the first half, with the exception of maybe the first 10 minutes or so. I didn't think Leicester played as well in the second half, and I thought they gave the ball away and gave Manchester United opportunities to attack, which they hadn't done in the first half. But look, in the end, Manchester United, for me, deserved the victory. But I've got to say, Leicester, I thought, played very well tonight.
And as the manager, of course, to get the win on opening night, to get the first 3 points on the board is so significant.
Massive. Friday night, first game of the season. You're on the telly, everybody's watching. Big result for Manchester United. And